What's up?
Hey,
Hey, John, we're live.
I'm
We are
getting
live.
news. I'm getting okay. There we go. There was an echo. How's
Okay.
everyone doing?
Uh,
Vivian,
yes. How is everybody
Arwen.
doing? Good Sunday evening. If you're hearing an echo, it's because you got the show on another browser, perhaps. And if you do, shut it off. Get rid of it. And
Hmm,
let me quickly see who's here, and I'll start saying my
There
hellos
we
real
go.
quick. Mr. Redjack, of course, as always. Good to see you, man. And that's my response to you. Number one Marvel fan, movies are my jam. Ah, my lovely wife Vivian, good evening, of course. To you, where's the fandom menace? Here we are. Here we are. Hey, Mr. Redjack, the reviewer. Not so much. We'll see. We'll see. Dino, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Didn't expect you here for a movie type show, but
Yeah, that's surprising.
I hope you hang out.
A lot of people here.
Puerto Rican. I don't get that one, so it's probably the first one going over my head that's related to a movie. Hey Jeff, what's up, man? Are you hanging out? Or are you driving across Las Vegas as always? Stanley, wow, Stanley early. Wow, not at the end. Wow, that's awesome. Because this may finish in about 2 hours, Stanley. So hopefully you stick around, dude. Ruben the Siskel Niebuhr, what's up, Rick? What is up, Jason? Good to see you. Wow, Jason, you're always one of the first guys to tell me to shut the hell up and get back to the comics talking or art talk. I can't believe you're here. What are you doing here?
Here he's
Wow,
for his punishment.
to be honest. CJ, what's up, sir? And oh, my lovely daughter, Arwen. And number one Marvel fan, away we go. Okay, everybody sing hello. Hey, Kenneth, good to see you again for the third time. Always happy to have you here. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey,
What's
Karen.
up, Karen? Good to see you. JC, what's up? Good to see you, dude. And too freaking hot to be outside cleaning the house, prepping to head to SDCC. Okay, I'm all for that. Staying inside. I had an adventurous noon to 1 o'clock thing that happened to me today because of the heat. Very scary. I'm not going to get into it, but yes, please stay inside when it's too hot. It's not worth your life. Okay, hello. Here to try something new. Awesome. You're expanding, you're broadening your horizons, Jason. All right, very cool, very cool. Okay, very quick, everybody. Before we get started, sorry, but this is my show. I have to do whatever I feel like I need to do. And first and foremost, let me start off with a couple of items. The Rickster. Wanted to let everybody know, remind everybody, please wish the Rickster, well, not the Rickster himself, but his daughter Ruby's birthday tomorrow. I believe she's turning 18, senior year of high school. So all the best wishes to her, Rick. And you're an awesome dad, I know. And happy to just basically thrilled to always have you here supporting what we do here on the show. So thank you very, very much. And best wishes to her. I hope you guys have a great celebration. And now, let me get that one off. Okay, so everyone, speaking of birthdays, before we get to the show, I'm going to run through. See, this is not a show and tell. If you guys remember, for those of you, just in case, for those of you who weren't here when Neon Dragon did his show and tell with me, which was what sort of devolved into an impromptu film-related show at the end, the last 70 minutes. That was show and tell number 15, if you want to check it out here on the channel. For those of you who weren't here for that, well, you should check it out because you will know by doing that why we're doing this tonight. So that's that. And I did want to say, again, speaking of Rick's daughter Ruby, best wishes to her, but also wanted to wish my beautiful daughter Arwen a very happy birthday. And in honor of that, well, going with that show and tell we did with you, Mr. Neon Dragon, which devolved into something else, This is not a show and tell. This is a, comic art collectors talking film. But I'm going to quickly, if you guys please just bear with me for a couple minutes here, I'm going to quickly turn it and let it devolve into a show and tell. Really, really quick though, okay? Because I know we got to get on with the show. But this is in honor of my daughter, Arwen. All right, so here. And of course, there will be some embarrassing stuff, not only for her, but for me. I figure it's tit for tat. If I got to embarrass her a little bit, I'll embarrass me too. So here we go. A little bit of a show and tell of Arwen's first year of life, basically. There we go. Yes, I did used to fall asleep with my glasses on. How ridiculous.
Ruben the dad.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
But these are like some of my favorite moments of all time in my whole life. Sorry, I'm choking up.
That's beautiful. Oh.
Yeah, but
were we at a car show? No.
No, it was just kind of like an outdoor fair, a market type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that. I will say, Ruben, I was very impressed with you when we were first talking. I think 5 hours it was. No, 7 hours that we were talking initially. And in the middle of it, you said, I gotta go say goodnight to my daughter. And I thought that was really neat. I thought she might have been like 3 or 4 years old, and you said she was, I don't know how old she is, 17, 13. 18. And so I thought, that's great because you're never too old for your dad to come say goodnight to you or your mom,
Well, absolutely.
Very, very admirable.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. But I having seen your daughter pop in while we were having that chat, I know that you are also very close to your daughter as well. So
definitely.
So I know that you understand it and know where I'm coming from. So.
Absolutely. That's what's important. Look at that. That's great. Oh. So when's the next one?
Well, a little too old now, so there ain't no more. Unfortunately, we started too late.
You're never too old.
Yeah, we started too late, but happy to have the one I got. So
that's great. Oh,
there we go. Look at the crazy hair, Arwen.
Oh, look at that.
And this is the last one. There you go. When we used to go to the farm nearby, just to let her see the animals. It was so cute. But there you go. So thank you very much, everybody, for allowing me to do that. And happy 14th birthday. It's tomorrow. Arwen, Daddy loves you very, very much. You are absolutely my holy grail. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Arwen. That's great.
Okay. Let me get some water.
Yeah, she's going to have to take over at some point, Ruben. Co-hosting.
She's not so into this stuff.
No.
Not so much, really. So it's like, yeah, she's got her own, she's got her own stuff. Thanks, honey. She's got her own stuff, whatever, and it's, you, as like I had said in the past, you try to get your kids maybe interested in what you're interested. And sometimes they'll show some interest, right? And then other times they kind of lose that interest really quickly.
She's young still. She'll be all over the board. You remember when you were that age, stuff you liked, you don't like now, and stuff you didn't even care about, you probably love.
Yeah, things change. What's up, Maki Poo Poo? Good to see you, man. Okay, turning 17. Thank you, Rickster. I apologize, but yeah, I don't want. I'm sure, just like me, you don't like her growing up that quickly. So I'm sure you're happy that she's 17 and not 18. But yeah, no, you're right. You're right, John. Look, like I said, things change. Their tastes change, and one thing's for sure, you can't. One thing I always believed is you can't force what you love growing up with comics or whatever it is that you love. You can't force that stuff. You can try to get the kids into it, but you can't sort of push it when you realize that, hey, it's not really happening.
Right.
Um,
I think
you
at
just,
some point, you reach a certain age. I've heard it's like late 20s, early 30s where everything gels. And at that point, you're pretty much going to be the likes you like and the things you don't like are pretty much going to stick. I think that's true. I mean, there's some stuff that I liked as a kid. That doesn't mean that you're not going to, but I think 28 to 32 roughly, I think that's when stuff kind of starts to solidify. So
yeah. Look, ultimately, they are our kids, and they're our children, and any parent knows. I mean, if you're a good parent, you just want them to be happy. So
yeah,
whatever makes them happy, you support them, and that's it, right? Be happy
right,
for them. So
right,
that's
right.
it. So everybody, sorry, Carl, what's up? I just found out the other night that significance of the name Arwen. Oh, it actually kind of. That's only indirectly. So it's actually from the comic book Sojourn that CrossGen published in 2003, I believe it was. But it was, if you know Sojourn, it was derivative of Lord of the Rings. And when I was reading Sojourn, I had forgotten that there was an Arwen in the Lord of the Rings because she had a minor role in that kind of the whole series. That was Steven Tyler's daughter, that elf character that she played. Yeah, so it's technically from the comic book, which is derivative of Lord of the Rings. But there you go. But
it's a cool name for sure.
Cool. Thank you.
Definitely cool.
Oh, sorry. I gather sometimes use them in paintings. Old neon sign pics. Star Noodle is a famous dragon chop suey sign in Ogden, Utah. I don't know what you're okay. Don't know. I thought he was talking about you, Neon Dragon. I was like,
I think he is. I think he's talking about.
Okay. Hey, Caesar.
That's where the sign, the avatar comes from. It's the dragon above the noodle bar where your favorite actor Harrison Ford is eating in Blade Runner.
Oh, is that that's where my favorite actor is really? Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. I haven't had I have it, and I intended to watch it before we came on tonight. I just didn't have it. I ran out of time. So many things I needed to do, wanted to do, and I didn't have time. But I am, for you, just for your sake, going to try it.
Thank you.
I am absolutely going to try it. So
maybe you'll like it. Maybe it'll grow on you.
You never know. I mean, it's possible, right? Like it can happen. Whatever. I'm not.
I mean, I know you don't like sci-fi, so it would really be impressive if it literally flipped you and you like the movie, because it's a double negative for you because you don't like Harrison Ford either. So for you to like the movie, you're going to have to look beyond that. That's going to be interesting. I almost would want to watch you watching the movie.
It really is a double whammy. Hey, Ronald, I hope you're doing good. Good to see you, buddy. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, so as you see, really quick, news flash came in today. The science fiction genre sucks big time. And so does Harrison Ford and Han Solo, says the live chat crew. This is what was reported to me just minutes ago. And I needed to report it. So just putting it out there, everyone.
Well, we don't even have to talk about sci-fi tonight. We'll just literally skip that whole genre, because that would be like you coming over to my house and all you want to talk about is sports. I would just show you the door.
Yeah.
I would say leave right now. You're not worth it. You're not worth the drinks and the chips.
Rick wants you to know that Blade Runner is a Ridley Scott masterpiece.
Thank you.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you to hear that, Ronald. Very, very happy. Good to hear it, man. And lovely, so lovely to see you here. Okay, so John, we were, I was thinking, since you kind of, I'll let everybody know that John has come up with kind of like a little sheet of just some ideas of genres and movies that he wanted to bring up, and just have a bit of a template. So we kind of have specific things that we wanted to bring up and talk about. And so I thought, I guess I should have told you this or asked you this before, John, but I thought maybe since you are my memory with movies, details and all that is kind of crappy. Would you like to maybe take the lead on this a bit and perhaps bring up either a genre or a movie or both, something that you're really kind of passionate about and want to see if any of the members of our gang here also have seen it, and if so, this way we could kind of talk about something a little bit more specific that the majority of us maybe have seen and either like, or whether we like it or not shouldn't matter. That's what makes the conversation. But
definitely. So I mean, seriously, I started to think of this genre list, and I worked like a day on this list. And to ask me, yeah, I know. Listen, but I mean, not like all day, but I mean,
but it takes time to search. It takes time to search, right?
Here's the thing. I mean, movies are everything to me. I mean, I'm not in the film industry. I have worked in the industry, and I have been in some films, but I never was interested. This is the thing. This is what we were just talking about. I never was interested in it. Now it's everything to me, because for me, making a film is literally like me taking you on a virtual journey. That's what it's like,
right.
And I'm going to create the music. I'm going to take you on an emotional journey and a visual journey. So if you read a book, you're going to go on a psychological journey or an imaginary journey, but with the movie, it's spoon fed to you. You know what I mean? So I just so fascinated with it. And if I had to do it all over again, I would go into the movie industry. But when I was in it and when I had the opportunity, I was 22, 21. I didn't care. I was into music. I wanted to be a professional musician. And here it was handed to me on a silver platter. I could have gotten into film. And I was, it was a novelty to me. I knew a lot of people in it. And I was like, oh, no, I never would want to do this. And I looking back now, no, I don't want to necessarily act in front of the camera. I want to be behind the camera. I want to be directing. I want to be writing, So anyway, I made this list. I sent it to you, and then I'd be like thinking, oh, I got to tell Ruben, I want to add one more. Got to add one more. And the list just constantly kept evolving. Oh, I've even added more than that. So I thought, you know what? I just can't. And then I didn't even do anything to do with Westerns. I left out action. I mean, so it's kind of like, I don't know. It was impossible. So I came up with a list of some movies that everyone maybe has seen. And I also came up with a list of some movies that maybe no one's seen, because it's like I was telling you, wouldn't that be cool if, oh gosh, I never thought about that, or I didn't know about that movie. And I'd like to start out with horror, if everyone would like to, because that's something, I guess maybe we should ask you, Ruben, do you like horror?
I do. I love horror. Everybody, let us know. Just pop it into the chat. A quick question: yes or no? Do you like horror? I want to get This is what this is all about. It's about all of us, right? So we get to know each other and our tastes, and I want to get an idea of what all of you are into in terms, at least genres. Let us all know if you're into horror.
And Ruben, in your honor, I even included romance.
Derek's in. I know. And you know what? Oh man, I should have started off myself.
No. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to let you take the reins on romance. I do have some good ones that are in there that maybe you haven't seen or thought about. But since you're the captain of chick flicks, you'll take over the.
What? I am not. Whatever. Whatever.
I want you to take over when we get to the romance part.
Right. Well, I do want to talk about something that you put under romance. It is not romance, and I've already popped a comment in the chat about it, and I wanted to talk about that because I love that movie.
Is it the first one?
No.
Okay.
But I want to talk about it because I'll tell you why. Because okay. Look, hold on. Let me.
Wait. Why don't we just start out with romance?
Hold on. First, let me see. So we got 1. Check this out. The people who like horror. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Nope. Too scared, are you, Karen?
Come on, Karen, lighten up.
Watch was Decline of American Empire. Yeah, that was a good one. Hey, Mark, what's up? Not a big horror fan. Okay, but I've seen some. Okay, no one horror. Wow, so many scaredy cats here. It's really into slasher films. Okay, 40s and 50s movies. Ooh, really?
Yeah, those are good.
Do that next time. I love that. 40s, 50s, and 60s for me. Even some 30s. Only Harrison Ford horror flicks.
All Harrison Ford movies are your horror movies. When Ruben met Vivian.
That was a good movie. Vivian, maybe you want to get on, jump in with us for a few minutes and reenact that scene, the famous scene from when Ruben met Vivian. And The Fly, big horror movie made in Canada. It was good. I haven't seen it since it came out. Of course, Vivian, no horror.
No.
Mystery movie fan.
Vivian saying no twice. That's a big no.
Forget the Golden Age. No, the last 3 Star Wars qualify as horror movies. Probably.
They do. Yeah, actually.
I would say they qualify as shit. I know that.
Jar Jar Binks.
But okay. So since it's kind of I gotta say it seems to be you want to be able to sleep tonight. I get it. Since it seems to be pretty 50-50, I would say, John. I would say because of that, we always got to go with what the kind of, what everybody else in the room is into. I would say we'll do a little bit of horror. I want you to tell us what you like and what you want to, talk about, but we'll kind of keep it to maybe pick a favorite. And we'll talk a little bit about the one movie and then we'll move on to something else because there's a bunch of other stuff we can talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go through exhaustively on this. And I mean, some of these, it's so funny because when I started the list, that was the most voluminous genre that I gave you. And then I realized, and I can't talk about everything, but okay. So let's start out with horror, and then let's rip our emotions apart, and we'll go right into romance after we talk about horror.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So the first movie, and I guarantee no one's seen this unless you are a real horror cult classic member, is 1972. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Yeah, never even heard of it, man.
Never even heard of it. Low budget movie. But if you're into horror, it's a cult classic. And
but I've seen cult classics. Like a lot of people know cult classics. It can't really be a cult classic if I've never heard it. Come on. Listen, I may not remember the details of the story details of movies very well, but like I know a lot of movies, and I love.
It's a
horror.
It's a deep state cult classic. Yeah,
a deep state cult movie.
Oh, here's the thing: it's so shitty. It's so B. All right, that you can actually watch it for free on YouTube. I don't know how the resolution is, but it's out there. Yeah. So, but I mean, I saw this movie when I was 11, I think. 72. It came out. I saw it after it came out. I didn't see it right when it came out. But anyway,
Mr. Redjack wants you to know that it's a $1.99 budget movie, but scary.
Oh, it's not even $1.99. You can get it for free on YouTube. But it's cool because, and there's a Wikipedia page about it, and there's lots of pages about it. It's interesting. It's worth seeing. It's definitely worth seeing. It's kind of like a zombie movie. It is a zombie movie, and it's a very 70s-ish movie. The whole ambiance of it, the lead character is kind of like a Charles Manson kind of guy, but they're just goofing around and screwing around. They go to this island in Florida and defile this corpse, dig him up, and make him the center of their party that they're having, and they're faking the satanic ritual, and then all hell breaks loose, shit backfires, and then there happens to be a graveyard on this island. How many islands, how many uninhabited islands have graveyards? And then that's where. But the really cool thing about it is when the creatures are starting to come up out of the ground, or any time that there's any scary part, they're playing this really obnoxious grating synthesizer music, like it's definitely, it's a good movie. I mean, it was made by people that went on to do other stuff in film. I think the guy that did it went on to do Porky's and other stuff too. But it's a movie worth seeing. So we won't dwell any more on that. But and the great thing about it is everyone can watch it for free on YouTube.
There you go. That is, again, for anybody curious, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Yeah, by Bob Clark and Alan Ormsby.
Jeff wants us to know that it's all been downhill since The Haunting from 1963. Really? I love that, and I own it, by the way. Love that.
Yeah. There's been a lot of good stuff after that, but lately, I would say in the last 20 years, there hasn't been much, really. Nowadays, everything focuses on jump scares, which to me is not scary.
Yes. Terrible. Terrible.
I mean, stupid stuff.
Terrible.
To me, the scariest stuff is the ambiance. When the ambiance captures you. I put it on here. It's lower on my list, but The Ring. I think when I saw that and that girl comes out of the television with the hair, I was like, shit, this is creepy. There's no jump scares. And as a matter of fact, The Eye, which was, it was originally done by the Pang brothers, the Chinese guys. They did a remake with Jessica Alba. Again, it's about, I might not get it all right, but this girl gets an eye transplant and she starts to see, kind of like Sixth Sense, she sees dead people because of this eye connection. But there's a scene in there where she gets into an elevator and the camera is focused on her feet. And there's this, and you can tell it's like a not rotting corpse, but it's somebody that's been dead for like a few days.
Okay.
And they're floating a few inches. Their bare feet are hanging in midair, a few inches off the ground, and they appear, and then they just literally float. They just pan to the other side, and they end up behind her, and she's not yet aware of this. I mean, just creepy stuff that does not have to rely upon gore. It doesn't have to rely upon sudden jump scare crap.
No, I know. It's to me, that jump scare thing, it's just so easy to do. Who cares? That doesn't mean you're getting scared by the horror.
Right.
But you and I could be talking face to face in person, right? And we could just be having a normal conversation, standing up in front of each other. And if I suddenly go, yeah, so anyways, like I was saying, John, you're gonna jump, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could pop out at you in the grocery store in the next aisle and scare you, and that doesn't mean I made a horror film,
Exactly.
That's just
that's cheating.
It's stupid stuff. Yeah.
It's cheap. So Jason at Comic Art Channel, check out his latest video, everybody. Very fun stuff, recommending some nice non-mainstream comic books. Jason says The Ring can come close to its predecessor.
The
original, right?
He's right. Yeah.
They were both great. I really like them both. So
they were both very good. They were both very good. A little different, but good enough.
Stanley,
the scariest movie, Ruben.
Yes. For me, guys, it's hard. It's hard to say if I have a scariest. Let me just say, why don't I just say that my entire life, up until now, even until now, I think I always, when I think about like what's my favorite horror movie, I don't think it's ever changed. Whenever somebody asks, I think about it and I'm like, I always give the same answer. So I'll just go with my favorite, and that is still The Exorcist. To me, it's a classic. It's still, I think it's very scary even today.
Did you see it when you were young? Were you young when you saw it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the first time I saw it, I might have been 10, 11, 12, something like that.
Years old?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. Most of the movies I've seen from like the 80s, like 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, I horror movies I started seeing as a 11 or 12-year-old. Yeah.
Where were your parents when you were watching The Exorcist at 11 years old?
They were home, and I was next door at my friend's house who they had a VCR. They just bought a VCR. And so the kid's mother would give us, $6 at the local video stores. We had tons of them at the time, They were all like family shops. This is before Blockbuster came in.
No, you're right. I remember those days, yeah.
Right. And so in order to compete with all the other mom and pop video stores, they did specials. And so for the old movies, a lot of them just were like, oh, 3 movies for $6. So it was like, oh, okay, we can watch, 3 movies for $6. And, we'd get the money and we'd go rent horror movies, So
yeah.
So that's it. So I would say, yeah, definitely Stanley Exorcist is still, to me, yeah, awesome. Still,
yeah.
still
I mean, I didn't put that on the list. I mean, I just threw some on. I just made a list of some movies to talk about. But yeah, you're right. The Thing, that's true. The Thing was really good.
Jason, so here's an interesting question, everyone. Like Jason says, the original Thing. When you say original, like, was there one before the John Carpenter? Or are you talking about John Carpenter in 1982? I guess that would have been. All right. Or was that a remake of a 60s one? I'm kind of vaguely thinking it is.
I think you're thinking of The Blob.
No, I'm thinking of The Thing.
You are. I don't know. I think
like John Carpenter's The Thing. If that's what you're talking about, Jason, I loved that one.
That was
but
good.
Here's a good question. Is that horror? Because to me, I always saw that as science fiction. Of course, that's science fiction. But
I think I would classify that as horror.
Really?
Yeah.
I always saw that as science fiction, but
there's a lot of movies that are kind of like, the next one I wanted to talk about is Event Horizon. I think it's fascinating when movies, they traverse a couple genres. Event Horizon's a sci-fi horror. I mean, that's really bizarre. And there's another one I want to talk about. I didn't put it on the list that it's really troubling. There's scenes in there that I find really troubling called Bone Tomahawk. And that is a Western horror. I mean, is that not a bizarre mix? A Western and a horror?
Yeah, I honestly, me personally, I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like when they mix 2 genres. Like sci-fi and horror are similar, but when they do like Western and sci-fi or Western and horror, yeah, to me,
Bone Tomahawk is really more of a horror that takes place in the West. So maybe you wouldn't call it a Western. I mean, there's no gunfighters and stuff going on, I mean, it's just a horror that takes place. Well, yeah, I guess, I don't know. It's freaking weird. It's very disturbing. Very disturbing. Did you see it? You didn't see it, did you?
Which one?
Bone Tomahawk.
No, I did. I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I saw. I think the thing is there is definitely something to a name. It's like when I saw the name Bone Tomahawk, I thought, well, what the hell is that? It certainly didn't sound scary. Yeah. And I mean, a Bone Tomahawk. They have these. What it was based upon, they're really more like Neanderthals, but they were like this really weird Native American tribe. They didn't speak. They had this weird shrieking kind of, they reminded me more like modern day Neanderthals. They were cannibals and they were very violent and very bizarre. And they lived in this cave and people were disappearing. And, they wanted to go back and they wanted to rescue a person that was captured. Some people that were taken by this group. But my God, man, there's some scenes in there there's one scene where they're literally cut somebody lengthwise like a side of beef and they show it. And it's not like a Jason slasher film. It's just that there are things that are troubling that they have to show. And I'm just thinking, God, it's just, I mean, if you were to see that, and quite frankly, I kind of think of Neanderthals that could have been that way, that there is proof that Neanderthals practice cannibalism. And everyone, not to get off on track, but when I saw Bone Tomahawk, I thought, if I was a Cro-Magnon, okay, if I was a modern human, all right, and because they theorized that maybe, again, the white European is always the evil one, right? They theorized that the Cro-Magnons exterminated practiced, basically committed genocide on Neanderthals. But imagine if you were living in the day, if you see Bone Tomahawk and if you were a Cro-Magnon and that was the Neanderthal, I would definitely want to wipe out everyone too. It was kind of like, just creepy stuff. But yeah, so definitely see Bone Tomahawk. But I started to say to you, there are definitely movies that are hindered by their title. And I'll give you another. But I mean,
almost always the case in every genre, though. In every genre.
Yeah, but there's some that are just kind of like, well, I never would see it with that name unless it was an accidental thing. And I'll give you a perfect example because I saw this movie. I saw this movie back in like the days like you were talking about with the video store. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch that crap. There's a really, really good horror movie. I think they even did 2 of them called Jeepers Creepers. Now, if you hear that title, that's like, what is this? Stupid. I don't want to see some stupid Jeepers Creepers movie.
I don't agree. I don't agree. And I'm going to interrupt you just to let you know. I don't agree because when I heard that it was coming out, I was like, oh, interesting. Because it's from that old song, Jeepers Creepers, where you get them peepers, right? So I think from the 1930s. So
right.
Yeah. So to me, it was like, oh, Jeepers Creepers. It did evoke like, oh, some kind of horror based on that song. I don't know. I thought it was a cool name, and it made me want to check it out.
See, I thought it was dumb, but I'm bad about that because I will judge stuff like Event Horizon. I was at a Blockbuster video store. I think I told you this story before, and this is what I do miss. Okay, the Blockbuster that I used to go to, there would be people like me working in the aisle, right? And they would say, and you would be sitting there, God, what am I going to watch? It's kind of like Netflix nowadays, it's like you're sitting there, what am I going to watch? It's all garbage. So I'm sitting there going through the aisles, and I would ask this guy. He was like your personal Hollywood ambassador, film ambassador, and I wouldn't typically look at the stuff at the bottom. That's like the cheap wine in the 7-Eleven. All this shit is at the bottom levels, the bottom aisles, the bottom rows. So I wouldn't really look at the bottom stuff because they were the crappy films. But he pulls this one from the bottom shelf. And he's like, have you seen Event Horizon? And he starts telling me, again, this is a cult classic too. And he starts telling me about Event Horizon. And I'm like, no, but this guy was never wrong. So I saw it, and that actually, I don't know that I have a favorite. Blade Runner is definitely my favorite movie of all genres, but I know, sorry, but at the same time, I love horror so much. I really kind of love it as much as sci-fi. There's just not really much good horror stuff lately that I don't have a favorite in horror.
Well, I don't know. It's probably better that we try to avoid talking about any given movie because I notice everybody's, that kind of everybody else in the room kind of might tune out. Everybody's busy popping in their own suggestions as to what movies they like or not like or get scared by. So that I've already popped them up on screen.
Throw a few of the comments up. Let's take a look and see what they're.
Well, I did, but like I said, every time when you're talking, you're never looking at what I'm popping up. But that's okay. So I'll read a couple of them.
So Mr. Red Jack likes Event Horizon.
So hold on. So let me see. So I wanted to mention because I popped it up. It was funny. Carl said that Porky's would be considered. He's asking, would Porky's be considered an appropriate first date movie for a 15-year-old? Yep, he did that.
No.
Hey, that's I don't know. Maybe.
Mr. Red Jack mentions Event Horizon is fantastic. There's another 30 minutes cut out of gore. Did you see that? Is that like in deleted scenes? You remember when you used to be able to rent the CDs? A lot of times they would have extra stuff on the CD or the DVDs. Yeah. Now they don't do that because you don't get the DVD. But I'd like to know, Mr. Red Jack, I have heard about that, and now I forgot about it. But now you reminded me. Can you see those scenes? Are they somewhere?
I mean, which ones? Oh, the extra, you mean?
The deleted, yeah. Did you see Event Horizon?
I still have not.
Oh God, it's a cool concept too. It's after a while, a lot of the movie.
I know you our impromptu episode, you were raving about it, so you don't have to say more. I'm going to try it. It's a question of time, but I'm gonna try. Exactly, I got to make the list. But
of all of the stuff that you don't like, of all of the genre, that'd be like you asking me to watch like iconic football games and basketball games.
Yeah, right.
That would be really painful. I honestly wouldn't do it.
I know.
Sorry.
Jason says he was referring to the 50s, the thing. So there you go. So then my vague memory is correct. Then I think the John Carpenter is a remake of that.
Okay.
So there you go. And Mike, what's up, man? What's up? So he says there's a recent thing remake. Oh, so there's one. Okay.
You mean like in the last couple of years? I think I almost
Yeah.
kind of remember hearing about that.
Again, another vague sort of memory about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say, so I saw this. Here we go, Marcus. So Marcus, I love how you insinuate things about me all the time. I gotta say, I don't love it because I've never seen it, but I loved the commercials, and it was creepy as shit.
The commercials about what?
That the Megan movie. There was a Megan.
I didn't see that. I didn't see
It's like
that.
this high tech, high level doll that is like almost human, basically. And the family buys it for the daughter, to kind of keep her company, And the most of the story is about, the daughter's babysitter, I guess, is the protagonist, trying to. She sees that the doll. I'm just basing this on the commercial. She sees that this very lifelike doll. When I say lifelike, I mean she walks around like a human being.
Is this recently?
Yeah. I don't know, a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And and then she starts noticing that the doll is evil and creepy, and she starts kind of,
like a Chucky remake.
Yeah, kind of like that, But it looks creepy. But I have it, Marcus. I just haven't seen it yet. So I just wanted to mention that. And Jason said he also saw Carrie at a 5th grade sleepover party, still damaged to this day. Oh my God. Yeah, you shouldn't be watching it in 5th grade. What are you doing? Rick, 50s black and white. And then, you guys were talking about The Thing, I guess. Yes. 50s black and white thing.
I don't know if I saw that one.
Dwayne, what's up, Dwayne? The Shining as a kid, that's the only film to get to me, I think, because me and the kid were similar in age. Yeah, well, I could imagine.
That's another classic.
That's another classic. I love that one. Yeah.
Definitely. Haunting, I think that what good creepy movies and scary are when it's a haunting, when it's a spirit. One I didn't put on here. See, this is the trouble. I keep thinking, even after the show, I'm going to think of 1,000 films. I got to put up one. Excuse me. I got to mention a film that I have not mentioned at all because I've forgotten about it. It is probably, if I had to pick a horror film that I think is the scariest, this is it. It's called Silent Hill. And it's made actually after a video game where it was kind of like a first person, not a first person shooter, but it was a first person like Evil Dead. And it was a Resident Evil. It was like a Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But Silent Hill, I think there's 2 Silent Hills. There might have been a 3rd one, but oh my God, it's just bizarre. And I guess part of it got, its source materials from the game. So you didn't have to come up with such a unique movie because you kind of mirror some of the things that you were seeing in the game. But oh my God, it's just like a bad acid trip, and it starts out, just the whole thing is creepy. I don't know. Has anyone seen Silent Hill? I mean,
I remember it. I haven't seen it, but I remember what you're talking about, the film.
Yeah. Oh my God. It just, like for instance.
So you loved it? You loved it, or?
It's so amazing. She goes into this other dimension. She can't find, she doesn't know she's in another dimension. Hold on a minute. I got to get something to drink. She doesn't know she's in this other dimension. She's looking for her daughter, and she's walking around this abandoned town and this abandoned warehouse. And periodically there's like this air raid siren that will start, this droning like 1940s air raid siren. And when that starts, that's when the whole reality changes to horror. Like, in other words, like imagine if you were like stuck in some warehouse, abandoned factories, and walking through it. Okay. Then you hear the siren. That's when like the walls turn to flesh. These things come out. I mean, it's just like, and so every time you're watching the film and you hear that, you're all of a sudden, now the really creepy stuff is going to start coming. And it's just, God, it's so bizarre. Some of the things, really bizarre stuff. I mean, there was this one, and I guess maybe it was one of the big bosses in the game, but there's this creature. It's like a bodybuilder guy with a like a huge blade, he's carrying this massive butcher knife. I mean, it's huge. He's dragging it. It's so big, and he's big, and his head is this long isosceles triangle, and he grabs this woman and just rips the skin right off of her body. I mean, just bizarre stuff. Really, really bizarre stuff. It's just so creepy and it's like what we were talking about earlier. It's so creepy that's what scares you is what you're seeing. You know what I mean? It's that environment, the whole ambiance of it. And especially there's another scene where she has to go way down deep into the bottom of this building. And there's this darkened hallway. This is kind of a classic scene of this movie. And there's all these nurses that they're dressed really sexy. They all have butcher knives, and they're in almost like a dance troupe in this hallway. And the minute they hear any sound, their faces are covered with a gauze, so you can't see their face, almost like a burqa. And the minute you trigger any sound or make any movement or sound, they start slashing the air. So this woman has to go through them without making any movement at all to trigger them. Just really bizarre stuff like that.
And are you still talking about Silent Hill?
Yeah, Silent Hill. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the pyramid head.
I'm notating it. I'm notating it, so I will see if I can check that one out.
Yes. Derek says Silent Hill is a bit different from the game, like comic movies. You probably have folks, yeah.
Yeah, let me. I'm behind because I don't want to skip people's comments. And guys and gals, everyone, let us know, because of course this is all a big experiment, and we need to know what works better, what doesn't. And I know that Neon Dragon loves to talk about specific movies, and that's fine. I mean, when you're in a one-on-one situation, that's awesome. I'm getting the feeling, though, and there's no offense to you, John, of course. I'm getting the feeling, though, that the way that, because of how the show is structured, it might be easier if we refrain from really talking about any specific movies, because everybody in the chat is active, but they're just throwing out other movie names, and they just kind of want to see, do you like this? Do you like that? Or do you not? Or, well, how is this? Rather than staying several minutes on any given movie. But sure, everybody in the chat, feel free to let us know. I mean, we want to kind of make it, what's something that's more fun and something that works better for all of us.
Yeah, we're just playing around with this. Is a whole new, we're in uncharted territory. So
yeah. And that's just the thing. But one thing I've noticed is, of course, that it's cool, and I like listening to you tell me about a movie that I've not seen yet, especially if it's something that sounds good to me, right? But then I'm like, gosh, in those minutes that pass by, I'm like, well, there's tons of comments I'm gonna miss. So I'm gonna go back real quick because I'm still back there. Just wanted to mention, I'm gonna pop up a bunch of comments that were, because of course now they relate to things that we were talking about earlier. So number one, Marvel fan saying that Cowboys and Aliens is a perfect Mox movie. And Rick says Firefly was a good blend of sci-fi western. So we have a couple of people at least that agreed that they actually like the blend of those two.
Oh, I did see Firefly. Yeah, that was unique.
That's interesting. And then Carl says, check that out. So The Lake House is a sci-fi romance. So that's like pretty bizarre, Marcus, I just want to say real quick. Oh yes, he's right. Because you put it. So in the annals of scary, murderous clowns, I got to tell you, I enjoyed it, right? But I got to tell you, I got to ask you, have you ever watched American Horror Story, the TV show? There's like, I don't know how many seasons, 8, 9 seasons. I can't remember. Really, I love it. Fantastic. It's like a horror movie, but a show, a series.
Is it an ongoing? Is the story ongoing?
So every season is a story. Every season is one ongoing story, right? And what happens is all the actors from season 1, or the majority of the actors from season 1, show up again in season 2, but as completely different characters. And then season 3, again, the core group of actors are always there, season after season after season, just playing different characters all the time.
Very it's not like an X-Files things where there's an explanation why they keep popping up, right? In other words, you're just using the same actors and actresses, but in a whole different unrelated story.
Yeah, it's like you never saw the previous season.
I'll have to see that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And there's one season which is about a killer clown. And that guy was terrifying. Oh my God. Now that clown, oh my God, that clown was scary. So
there was a movie called, wasn't it called Revenge of the Killer Clowns?
Yes, there is. Yes, exactly. Never saw it.
Kind of a stupid comedy, but actually good too. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the sickest scenes of all time. Not sure which one you're talking about because I'm behind. See, that's why it's probably better that we just be generally talking and let's follow what maybe John, what we should do is just follow what the chat says.
Talk slower.
And when the chat slows down, then we can just say whatever. I'm getting a lot of comments. I'm seeing a lot of comments that, of course, are from many minutes ago, and I don't know what they're referring to. So Get Out was fantastic, Marcus.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's what it was. James Siegel says, yeah, you're right. That was good.
Oh, James Siegel's in the house. Hey, what's up, man? The Omen was disturbingly scary, so that's a good one. I'm sorry, Karen, but you're one of those comments I don't know. It was too long ago, so I don't know what you were talking about. So sorry.
At least Karen's still watching, and we're still talking about horror, which she didn't like care
about. That's we didn't scare her away, so to speak. So Caesar heard of Bone Tomahawk, but never saw it.
Definitely watch it. It's disturbing.
Dwayne Zapane wants to know, was Bone Tomahawk a Kurt Russell movie?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Bone Tomahawk sounded like a horror porno. I don't know. Okay. Karen and Rick, they're like two peas in a pod. They both despise musicals and they both love Firefly. So good for you two.
That's one genre I avoided is musicals.
Yeah. Well, I also will say I'm not a musical fan either. I kind of hate musicals.
Other than The Sound of Music, which was just beautiful.
Yeah, there's exceptions, right? So I like Wizard of Oz, Sound of Music, and Grease.
I can't stand the whole 50s thing. Really turns me off.
You hate 50s stuff. That's why. Okay.
I know you love it. I know you love it.
That's it.
I can't stand it.
Derek, that was part of the marketing campaign, if I remember correctly. I don't remember which one you're talking about now. Sorry, our fault. Eerie version of that song or eerie? Oh, the Jeepers Creepers music with the Jeepers Creepers song. Yeah, exactly.
You know, the thing is, if you remember that movie, it had nothing to do with the song. It was actually a really good theme and story. Unique too about that demon that would come out and he was living in the cave. But it had nothing. The title had nothing to do with the movie.
I think you don't mean literally, Carl. I don't think you literally crapped your pants, like that story I told one of my shows where I got so blasted drunk that I crapped my pants. Right? Like,
oh God!
Not literally crapped the pants, right?
Where's Vivian when we need her with the big hook that comes out from the side and pulls you out?
Well, I just kind of told
I thought the reveal about you not going to the bathroom for 4 days straight was already at the limit. I missed that show.
Event Horizon, fantastic. There is about another 30 minutes. Oh, that's the one you said from earlier. Okay,
right.
You don't like jump scares. Do you like psychological horror? Give me an example of what you mean by psychological horror, because we all have sort of different. A lot of us have different definitions of how we define these genres. So give me an example maybe of psychological horror. Do you mean, Tim Robbins from the 1993 or something? What was that movie? Give me an example. It's not coming to me, but please give me an example. Do you like any Stephen King movies? I loved, Rick mentioned earlier, I believe, Pet Sematary. I enjoyed that.
Cemetery.
I don't know if I loved it, but I really enjoyed it.
The thing about Stephen King, if you and he even did this with It, which was the original It, which was a miniseries, if you remember, is he will just sit there and savor the storyline, and the whole movie is like you're not getting bored. You know, I mean, you could sit there and go, I can just watch this forever. And then it's almost kind of like the screenwriter says, hey, you know what? You got to wrap this up in like 10 minutes. And then the whole last part of it is so rushed. And it's almost every single movie he did is like that. You know, it goes on. It's not dragging. It's going on, you know, beautiful. It's a savoring moment. I could have watched 30 episodes of it, you know, but the whole end of it was just a cluster F of just everything at once. Like, oh, we got 10 minutes. Oh my God, I lost track of time. Get rid of this movie. Finish it. You know, I don't know if every movie he's done is like that. With the exception of Misery. Misery was.
I was just gonna say I love Misery.
Yeah. That was good.
I've seen it a lot of times. I just saw it several months ago again, so I love that one. Saw it in the movie and then many times on DVD. So that's fantastic. I love that.
But that wasn't really a horror. That was kind of like
more.
Maybe you would call that a psychological horror, right?
Suspense, thriller, psychological horror. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Whatever. It's awesome. So
yeah.
I didn't, Rick. I've had it for like 2 years or something, and I just can't ever get in the mood to try it. I don't know. Whatever. But I'll hopefully get to it eventually. New Mutants. What else is there? Okay, trying to hurry up here to catch up.
Mr. Red Jack's avatar is disturbing.
Oh, hey, thanks, Mickey. Megan was 20. Oh, only last year. Wow. Okay. Marcus, you are just in love with Blake Lively. That's all I have to say about that. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Love it.
Shallows.
And that's not horror, of course. But The Shallows, I still haven't watched it, Marcus. I'm going to. Don't worry. And when I do, I will promise I'll tell you what I thought. Okay, I promise.
You know what I would consider as a psychological that Shyamalan movie about the island where the people age real fast. That would be a psychological. I can't think of the name of it.
People age real fast.
They were using it to test drugs.
Look at Karen. Hold on. Look at Karen.
See, Karen's getting into the horror thing now.
She hates horror, but she happens to know that the director.
She knows a lot.
Also
maybe
directed.
Maybe she should host a horror film show.
Yeah. Karen, come on next time and do a whole horror focused episode. Shit, if we don't actually be careful, this is going to become an all horror episode, and we want to move on to some other ones.
We do want to move on. Yeah.
I'm going to catch up here. The last few comments. Are you my mommy? Oh, the correction. The Thing remake was 2011. Thank you for clearing that up and letting us know, Mike. Appreciate it. Derek says Silent Hill is a bit different from the game. Oh yeah, that's what you read before. Okay. Won't care for a minute as much. The Haunting from 1963. Did you see that one, CJ? I love that one. I have that one. Pyramid Head is from Silent Hill 2 game. Okay. That's what James was saying.
Yeah, well, I was talking about that big guy.
Okay. And owns a full costume. Cool. That's pretty disturbing yet awesome. That's when moonwalking skills come in handy. Do quick. See, yeah, Marcus is saying do quick hitters. Yeah, we can't be just starting to talk about a film. It takes too much time and yeah, eats up too much time, and then I can't keep up with all the chats because I have to wait for you or me to finish talking. Chat is chatting amongst ourselves. I know you are, but still, I want to get to all those comments, and the comments often don't have anything to do with whatever single movie John might be talking about or I might be talking about. That's why. So that's what I'm saying. So it looks like it's probably better we don't talk about any particular movies and just talk about the movies themselves in terms of, oh, do you like it? Do you not? Or tell me another movie you like that's in that same vein, that kind of thing, you know? It's a big okay. Killer Clowns. So the Black Phone was better.
They made two Silent Hill films, but they're making a new one. Return to Silent Hill.
Oh, really?
Is an upcoming psychological horror film.
Carl says that even the Ronald McDonald is a creepy clown. Well, in all honesty, the reason they made clown horror movies in the first place is because clowns, adults that dress up in clowns to try to entertain children. I mean, the concept really is creepy.
John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy, exactly. That's exactly the point. It's creepy, so that's why it works well as a horror theme, you know. So
I don't think people necessarily think of child. I don't think they think of it that way. It's just scary. Some of them, you try to look comedic, but you don't. It backfires.
I guess.
You know,
Carl loves musicals. The only guy who loves musicals. Rocky Horror Picture Show has everything in it, plus a great soundtrack. Nah, man, you know, Mr. Redjack, I went to it once. My friends were all like, yeah, it's fun. Come to the theater. Let's do it in the theater. And next thing I know, I spent like 2 hours. You know, I had to buy a pile of popcorn. And whenever they told me to do something, I had to do it. And that included taking my popcorn and throwing it at the screen. And it was just like
you have to be trashed to watch that film.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I mean, yeah, not my kind of thing, really. The Jordan Peele movies have been pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. Silence of the Lambs, good one. I don't think that's horror.
That's on my list.
You're probably thinking psychological horror. That's probably what you are talking about. And yes, thank you, Mark and Mr. Redjack. That's what I was thinking of. Jacob's Ladder, exactly. I never actually saw it. Is it good? Tell me if it's good.
It is.
You guys, when you pop out suggestions of movies, maybe don't just throw out the movie. Also include loved it or liked it or didn't really like it, hated it, whatever. It's good to know if you liked it or not. Because just popping out a name, if it sucks, I don't want to waste my time trying to watch it, you know. But yeah, Stand By Me was fantastic, very classic film. It's not horror, but it's classic. Marcus, thank you. Yes, exactly. I was trying to think of something from the 90s. Yes. Oh, fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all in the psychology of it all. Yes, absolutely. Brilliant stuff. Scary as shit. Yeah, love that one, man. Yeah, Shawshank, fantastic movie.
Yeah. What would you classify Shawshank Redemption as?
It's one of those movies that
drama, huh?
It doesn't really seem to really fall into an obvious category, you know?
Right. Or The Green Mile. I thought about The Green
Mile was great. Yeah. I read those books before I saw the movie. Fantastic also. But yeah, those I don't know. Like it's dramatic, I guess, drama, right?
Like, I thought about those movies, but I didn't think about what genre, so I didn't even put them down.
Yeah, that's okay.
I guess drama.
This is why I'm saying the movie I wanted to talk about, I feel doesn't fall into the category you put it in. So that's why I want to talk about it. I won't talk about it for long, but I just want to know if anybody else saw it and what they think of it. Okay.
Well, let's move on from the horror genre.
Yeah, we will. I'm just catching up to the last comments. The Green Mile, like you just mentioned.
Beach. That was it. The beach. Is that where Mr. Redjack? Is that where they age?
Oh, maybe that's what he was talking about. Yeah, what you were talking about.
I think that's it. Very.
Vivian, you remember Shawshank, huh? Oh yeah, we haven't watched that in forever. We got to watch it. We got to watch that again. The Reuben Witch Project. I don't know if you're just joking, but I despised that movie. I couldn't believe.
Yeah, that was horrible. I felt so ripped off.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the hype that everybody was putting on that crap. And then finally I watched it and I'm like, okay, first of all, the shaking camera, the constantly moving camera was making me sick to my stomach. Yeah. Second of all, I kept waiting. An hour passed by and I'm like, where's the scare? I'm waiting for what's everybody talking about that makes this so great? It's an hour in. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe all the scares come in the second half. Nothing. Every minute passing, I'm like, is it ever going to happen? I literally to this day do not know what people were raving about. I don't know what was scary. I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me what was scary.
I felt so ripped off. I was so furious. Movie. Yeah.
Yeah, what a crap movie. So whatever. Reuben, the Time Warp. Let's do the Time Warp again. As a kid, I loved Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis films. Wow, did you? Some of them are pretty fun, you know. And I'm not surprised, actually, Caesar, that you would say that because you are a Shemp. You're a Shemp lover. You love the Stooges. You love that old time stuff, right, from the mid 20th century. So yeah, man, that a lot of that stuff has its place. I love the hard-boiled crime noir stuff from that era. That's what I really, really love. Especially the cinematography. Oh, it's so beautiful. Prison drama. Yeah, exactly. It's so basically drama. It's a subgenre, right, of drama, prison drama. Speaking of prison drama, my favorite, and yes, I'm going to call it straight to video movie. I believe it got some release like in Southern California, maybe Northern California, whatever. But to me, if it doesn't go, if it never opens up all over the country and all over North America, I consider that a straight to video movie. It blends my love of prison drama. Let's keep that up there with my love of the Chicano culture in Southeast Los Angeles and the history of it. And it's called Blood In, Blood Out. And it's subtitled Bound by Honor. But it's known as Blood In, Blood Out.
Never heard of it. When was it made?
1993.
Blood In, Blood Out.
Oh my God. My favorite, it's not only my favorite straight to video movie of all time, my favorite certainly movie of that type of genre. It's a 3-hour piece. I mean, straight to video stuff always was like 88 minutes, 90 minutes, 3 hours, and it's gripping throughout the entire thing. If you like gang type movies, prison type stuff, and especially if you're into, Southeast Los Angeles type, Chicano culture, wow, what a fantastic movie with great Chicano actors. Oh my God, so good, so good.
I never even heard of it.
If you're into, are you into prison drama stuff?
Yeah. I mean, definitely.
Okay,
yeah.
Write it down. Blood In, Blood Out. I guarantee you, if you're into that stuff, you will love that movie. That's all I gotta say. Jot it down for yourself.
Sounds good.
Okay, and
Old, yeah, that was it. Did you see that, Ruben?
Which one?
Old, the movie Old.
I no, I haven't even heard of it. I don't think I've heard of it. What's that?
Yeah, I shouldn't say anything about it because that's kind of like Sixth Sense. There's it all hinges upon something. So Maximum Overdrive. I was in that movie actually.
Were you?
Yeah, yeah. That was a horrible movie. That was Stephen King. So I met Stephen King. That was his first movie that he directed. Up until that point, he would write, books, and then movies were made from his books. And Maximum Overdrive. So it's a story about all of the inanimate objects, from the toasters to vehicles, take on their own mentality, and
it's a crap movie.
It is. Stupid,
it's a crap movie. Mr. Radjack says that what's behind the green prison door? Yeah, I think you like what's behind the green door a lot better. That's my guess. Stir Crazy, a prison comedy. I never actually saw that one, Mike. Is that not Richard? Oh God, I'm blanking. Richard. The comedian, black comedian from the 70s and 80s.
Richard Pryor.
Thank you. Isn't that Stir Crazy?
I don't know. I haven't seen
Caesar, look at that. See, Caesar knows. Blood and Blood Out, cult classic. Orale, Holmes. Oh yeah, baby. Vatos locos forever, ese. Love it. Oh my God, that's awesome. At least one of you loved it. Oh. Anybody else? Okay. Caesar's just repeating. Love the movie. Yeah. American History X. Yeah, that's American History X, I believe you're talking about.
I'm surprised anybody even knows about Maximum Overdrive. That's
fantastic.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yes, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder. That's right. Yes. Thank you, Pryor. Yes. And they ride the bolt and escape at the end. Whatever, nonsense.
Gene Wilder, yeah. The original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is probably one of the greatest movies.
Okay,
but
so
we won't get off on that.
So okay. So let's segue, since we're already past the first hour. This stuff always goes quick. Let me get to the movie that I wanted to talk about at the top of the last.
Is this romance now?
Well, for you it is. For me, it isn't.
Okay,
but the reason
is it on my list? I only have four.
Yeah. Yes, okay. Listen. So I'm gonna tell a quick anecdote to everybody, so they see, because it's really cool. So everybody, especially those of you who were here for Neon Dragon's show and tell and stayed and watched the impromptu movie show we did at the end, all right? You guys will appreciate this, okay? You will be able to relate to this and appreciate it a lot more than those of you who didn't see it. Okay, so for tonight, Neon Dragon came up, as I showed you, with this two-sided sheet of genres with a bunch of movies from each genre that he maybe thought, hey, just examples of things that we can talk about. And in romance, okay, he dropped in this movie, which I popped it into the chat at an hour ago. It's a movie called The Age of Adeline. Okay, Blake Lively stars in it. And what was funny was that when I saw this list that Neon Dragon sent me, and when I saw that on the list, I was like, yeah! I was cheering. I was so happy because I wanted to bring that up this week.
But Harrison Ford was in that.
Okay, stop it. Let me just finish my story. Okay. So first I cheered. Okay. I was so happy that you had that on the list because I was like, oh my God, he loves that. I don't know if you love it. I know.
I do love it. I do love it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm so happy to hear that. I figured you at least liked it. Otherwise you wouldn't put it on the list. Right.
Right.
And guys, everybody else. So when I saw that on the list, I looked at it again and I noticed that right after Age of Adeline, he puts in brackets Harrison Ford. And at first I'm thinking, why is he, he's just whatever. He's trying to bust my balls somehow, whatever. But I'm like, but why would he put that next to Age of Adeline? What does that have to do with anything? He wasn't in that movie, right? So then I'm like,
Harrison Ford was in the movie.
Shut up, John. Let me finish my story. So then I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I've seen that movie like 3 times. I love it. And then I'm thinking about it, right? All the scenes and all the things that I love about it. And I'm like, my face, I was like, I had a smile on my face thinking about it. And then I'm like, suddenly I go like, oh yeah, it was so good. Fuck. I remembered Harrison Ford was in it. Oh my God. Like shit. So yes. And of course, Marcus figured it out immediately. There you go. So I and Rick says The Age of Adeline was actually Highlander 7. I don't know what you mean by that. That's weird. I've only seen Highlander 1, so I don't know what that means. But probably because the story has something to do, the similar kind of concept. I'm assuming, Rick. But yeah, so for anybody who never saw Age of Adeline, let me just quickly tell you what it's about. So you know how at some point in everybody's life, right? Whether it's when you're younger, older, whatever, I think at some point in everybody's life, everybody has this conversation. Somebody brings up, oh man, I just like I wish I could live forever, And it's like, then you talk about that a bit, like, oh yeah, especially when you're younger. Most people, if you're talking about that with your friends, and most people you usually tend to go like, they talk about all the good stuff, right? Oh yeah, I can live forever. Awesome. I stay young. I live forever. Everything I love about life, I can do it as long as I want to, right? But I had that conversation like early in life, probably as a teenager, and even back then, I was very sort of intuitively thinking about the deeper aspects of the ability to stay young, stop aging, right? And live forever. And so I used to kind of tell my friends, and Carl loves it too. Awesome, dude. I used to tell my friends like, hey, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I'm like, think about it for a second. If you think about it for a minute or two, then you'll really start to realize how many negative things come from having to live forever and not being able to age or die. And that, everyone who hasn't seen it, that is precisely what this movie tackled. It tackled the whole concept of if you could live forever, and the main character, the protagonist, ends up something. I'm not going to, ruin it for you because you should absolutely watch it. She ends up, it's Blake Lively. She ends up being able to live forever. And oh my God, it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful. But John, there's romance in it. There's some romance that's part of it. But that's not what the movie's about, man. It's about what the negative consequences of what would it be like if you did have the ability to live forever. That's ultimately what it comes down to with this movie.
But I think you blocked out the underlying theme was that why was she distraught about living forever? It was the love. And because when you saw Harrison Ford, I think you eliminated that from your mind. And you cut and pasted, you cut it out and pasted it in the trash can. That's what it was all about. And I thought Harrison Ford, when he saw her, and that acting was absolutely incredible. I mean, he you know, you were Harrison Ford when you saw that. You were, I mean, the viewer was Harrison Ford. You felt that pain, you know, and shock at the same time too. And she's probably if the movie was real, she's probably thinking of all the places that I'm coming to. I mean, all the people in the world, this is who I'm coming across. You know, it was all about love. It was definitely.
Well, it's okay. But again, I agree it's about love. But just because something's about love doesn't mean it's a romance movie.
No, I mean, you're right. You're right. I guess you could say it kind of straddled both genres of a romance and a drama, you know, but
yeah, it's drama. It's got some. Yeah, see, I don't like using the word romance because when you think of romance, you know, you think The Notebook, which you love, and you think about those types of movies. That's classic romance. That's not what this was. Of course, at its core, it's about love. Absolutely, right?
But that's I guess the angst of not getting old. It's like Benjamin Buttons. You remember that movie?
Yes.
You know, and you got that sweet spot where they're both, you know, young and in love. And then one of them, okay, yeah, it's about not getting older, but what is this? What are the climax points, or what are the sadness? What's the sadness brought upon by the fact that you're not getting older, right? You know, so you know what I mean? It's and to come across an ex-lover, you know, and now it's the father of the guy you're marrying. I mean, it was just
you're ruining it.
No,
okay. You're not really ruining it, but
no, but I mean, there's still. I mean, it's
yeah.
It's hard to talk about it without saying some things.
I know. Well, that's why when we talked,
we're not going to talk anymore about it.
That's why when we talked through email, I was kind of saying that's what I was telling you, right?
Yeah,
it's hard to talk about it without spoiling some stuff. I get it.
Okay, so yeah.
So no, but anyways, that's fine. I just wanted to put it out there, everybody. I'm very, very saddened that Carl seems to be the only guy who mentioned that he liked it, I believe. And Marcus knows that. Marcus, you know that Harrison Ford is in it, but you haven't said if you watched it and what you thought about it. But that's okay. Just wanted to put it out there. It's beautiful. You guys, everybody, it's for everybody. It's the kind of movie I would recommend to anybody. It's just a great movie.
Unique. It's unique.
Yeah. So lovely.
And that's what's refreshing about those movies, are when it's not a narco or a terrorism, or, you know, it's like when the underlying subject matter is unique in of itself, whatever it is. Event Horizon, you know, is an example, or this was an example, like where it kind of shatters the typical, oh God, another courtroom, another murder mystery. You know what I mean? It's like, here we go again. You know what I mean? It takes you on a different journey.
See, Marcus is even telling you, don't spoil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is hard.
He's in love.
I brought that up with you. Yeah, I brought that up with you, but
yeah. That's but that's it. But when I know somebody in the audience, like in the room, would probably be willing to watch it, then it's kind of better we don't say too much, right? But check it out, Marcus. I know you will love it. I mean, if you love it just because you love Blake Lively alone, that's good enough reason. She's wonderful in it, and just a beautiful story. So good, so
it's
good.
It's worth seeing just to see her.
Sad too, but it's just a beautiful movie all around. Everybody should watch that. Everybody.
The portrait of Dorian Gray, Mr. Redjack brings that up. That's interesting.
The portrait of Dorian Gray. You mentioned it before. Yeah, you just misspelled it. That's okay. I know what you meant when you said, when you mentioned the picture of Dorian Gray. We know it's just a typo. We know. So,
but that was not really it. He didn't get old. It was also what he was, the portrait, what it was reflecting. You know, like, did you see that movie? Ruben?
I have not seen the portrait.
It's an old black and white.
Yeah, I know what it is exactly. Yeah.
So he lives forever, but it's interesting what the Okay, so now we have to. It's like walking through a minefield. So we have to make sure what we don't say. But the portrait.
Don't say too much, anyways, because like I said, I want to keep up with the comments, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Well, do you want to talk about the first romance that's on the list? Because you liked that too, I think, didn't you?
Hold on, let me see, because I want to talk about what everybody wants to talk about. So hold on, everybody's mentioning all of a sudden the lake house. What's that?
I haven't seen that.
Okay, to me that sounds like a horror movie. You know,
that does sound like a horror movie, like the last house by the lake or something.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like the exact setting for where some slasher guy is gonna waste like 25 kids soon. You know,
the house by the lake. That was
and Karen says she loves the lake house. If that ends up being a horror movie,
oh no, wait a minute. I think that was a romance. I think I've seen that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I did see that. I don't remember it exactly, but I did see it. It was good.
Jeff says that the original
Keanu Reeves. See, I can't stand Keanu Reeves. That's my Harrison. That's my Harrison Ford to you.
Right.
It's very difficult for me to watch anything with him because he's such a dope.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, that was a good.
They ended up teaming up to do another movie that wasn't about a bus with a bomb on it that can't stop. Wow. Oh, Carl is saying that it's a sci-fi based romance. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Mickey says Sandra Bullock. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm caught up on comments. So let me take a look at what you were saying, John. Romance. Okay. I don't want to talk about that because no. The only one I wanted to talk about was Age of Adeline because it's the only one I've seen. I don't know the other ones.
You didn't see the first one?
No.
Vanilla Skies?
Was that Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz.
He's Harrison Ford #2.
Oh, come on. And they fell in love with each other. You know, it's like, actors and actresses that when they star in a film together, this is how they fall in love with each other. He fell in love with her. They fell in love with each other in the making of that film. But it was really good. It was a sci-fi romance. Very, very good. That impacted me. You know how Age of Adeline impacted you? That impacted me 100 times more. And Age of Adeline really did impact me.
And then he falls in love with whoever he wants to on whatever set of the movie, and then he indoctrinates them into Scientology, and they end up dumping his ass later because they know he's so weird. And he starts jumping on Oprah's couches, and it becomes a big buffoon for the rest of his career. Well, listen, I will be honest. That's not what made me hate him. I hated him from the day I saw, what was it? Risky Business.
Risky Business.
Yeah. Or was he also in Bachelor Party, or is that only Tom Hanks without Tom Cruise? Was he?
I don't know. I thought Risky Business was the first one he was in.
Okay, but whatever. Yeah. From day one, everybody. Again, see, I always end up hating people when I'm hearing a lot of hype. When I hear a lot of hype about anyone or anything, it's almost guaranteed I'm going to end up hating it or them because it never lives up to whatever this hype is, right? So,
I mean, if you, and that's what I was getting to in when we were talking about this before in that show and tell show, is that's what I like Tom Cruise, by the way, but that's what I like about having no-name actors and actresses, because you don't bring all of their personal baggage into the story with you when you're watching. You know what I mean? Like, you can't watch a Tom Cruise film because you're thinking about all of the nutty stuff that he does in personal life.
I can't stand looking at his face, just like Harrison Ford. So I don't want to watch their movies. That's why I don't want to watch it. If you can't stand looking at some person's face, if looking at their face angers you, why would you sit for 2.5, 3 hours trying to watch a movie there.
But it's angering you. It's angering you because you're thinking about him jumping up on the couch
no, because Harrison Ford didn't jump on any couches, and I still feel the same way about him.
You just don't like his attitude when he was Han Solo. I think that's where you were emblazoned in your memory.
Oh my God, that's true there. But yeah, I can't. I just, for the love of God, please.
Tech support. You got to see Vanilla Sky. Seriously, please add that to your list.
I don't know if look, having said that, John, having said all of that, I will admit I've seen way more Tom Cruise movies than I have Harrison Ford movies. That's for sure. So I don't know what that means. It's not because I wanted to, but I ended up watching more movies with him. Anyways, whatever.
I mean,
not like Top Gun. Dwayne, I saw it when it came out at the theater with a bunch of girls that I liked from high school.
So that you're not talking about the recent one then, right?
No. 1986, man. 1986. Yeah. So I one of the girls, like one of those girls, like I liked, and so I was there with them, and I was kind of busy thinking about the girl a lot, so I don't really remember a lot of the movie, and I never rewatched it, right? But I intended to. I tried, like a couple of months back. I tried checking it out on Netflix, and as usual, Netflix. I will search literally 30 movies on Netflix before I can find one they actually have for free to watch.
Yeah, anyway, horrible.
Pisses me off. But yeah, so I couldn't watch it, and I'd like to watch that one before I watch the new one, because shockingly, I've had friends tell me that the second one is not only great and better than the first one, but that apparently it's like one of their favorite movies of all time, which of course is good. I know is going to make me despise it with a passion. But I do intend to watch them both. But anyways, moving on. I have not heard of The Indoctrination, Mike. Take it easy. I'm trying to take it easy, but some of these things make my blood boil, Carl, No, he never starred with Katie Holmes. That is true, but she still dumped his ass because she found out he was another weirdo with the whole Scientology thing.
You don't hear about him in the Scientology anymore. I mean, I'm sure he's still in it, but you don't hear about it as much as before.
I guess he figured.
Quite frankly, there's so many people in LA that are into that. It's Black Mirror. Okay, so has anyone seen the recent Black Mirror episodes? I thought they were really crappy.
Oh,
have you? Did you see Ruben?
No. I thought about it, but it's there's too many things to watch, and it's one that I read about, and I was like, I'm not sure. I just felt they wouldn't be up my alley, so I never tried it.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much on the recent ones. Do you remember Netflix, where it was so easy to find all these great movies, and when you had seen everything, you then went to the international genre and started looking for really cool films that were international. Now all of the stuff, they're so bankrupt on new material that all of the new stuff is all this international closed caption, filmed in Croatia, and their mouth is 10 seconds from the actual audio. And it's horrible.
Yeah, I never saw this one though, Mr. Redjack. Yeah, never saw that one. Legend from the 80s. Mickey doesn't like Brad Pitt, but he likes Meet Joe Black. Interestingly enough, Mickey, you and I are on opposite ends, in the sense that I have loved Brad Pitt since he first appeared, and I don't remember even what it was called, but he couldn't have been more than 19. And I don't know. I just remember some scene of him jogging, and I don't know if it was a camp for kids. I don't know. But I was like, hey, this guy's got the look, man. This guy's the potential to be the next big star in Hollywood if somebody kind of discovers him and puts him in a bigger film. And I was right, and he became the biggest thing in for the next 20, 30 years. But I love Legends of the Fall. Oh my God, what was the other one that seems like very similar movie that came out at the same time? Legends of the Fall.
See, I don't care for Brad Pitt. I mean,
The Dead Reckoner.
I don't know. He's the one that when I watch a film with him, all I'm thinking about is all of his trash and baggage.
Okay, well, let's not. I don't want to go there. Another one. Rick says that the new Top Gun was better than you expected. I don't know if that means if you liked it better than the first one, though. It doesn't really sound like you think it's that good. But Karen says, so is that a no on the Mission Impossible movies? That is a big effing no. Like that, you even have to ask me that, Karen. I don't know. It's
I've always thought the Mission Impossible were a cheap, really cheap trailer park version of a James Bond movie. You know,
I mean that's what it kind of seems to be, right? Like
the Bud Light of James Bond films.
Yeah. I don't know. And every time one of those movies comes out, you always read articles on Yahoo or whatever website you get your news from, right? And there's always an article about how Tom Cruise did his own stunts in this movie. Wow, he's awesome. Like, yeah, it's pretty awesome. But why do you always, every single movie, have to bring up the same article, retread over and over, telling us how awesome he is because he does his own stuff? We know that already. He's been doing it for 35 years. Get over it. We know. Who cares? Just tell me about the movie if it was good or not. Whatever. Tom Cruise.
He has his own P-51 Mustang.
Who cares? Who cares? Make some movies that would make me want to watch you, Tom. That's what we'll talk about, you know?
Top Gun was good.
But he was well known. She knew. What? And I'm only a few minutes behind, but I don't know what that means. Any episode of Black Mirror that has a named actor are the worst. Oh, boy. The episode about the documentary makers was the best of the recent lot. Okay. Legends of the Fall, probably my favorite Brad Pitt film. Oh, excellent, Dwayne Zapane. Yeah, it was awesome. Loved it. Ruben was enchanted. Why do you say these things, Mark? I don't understand you. Why can't you just simply say, Ruben liked Thelma and Louise? Why would you say I was enchanted by it? Like, I don't know what you're trying to get at with that, you know? I really dug it. I haven't rewatched it. I've never re-seen it. I saw it when it came out, and that was it. But I really dug it, and he was awesome, you know, playing that the old, you know, the young stoner dude, you know. He was good at that. Thank you, Karen. Yay! Thank you, Karen. Yes. Legend of the Fall and A River Runs Through It. Man, yeah. You know, a beautiful man, beautiful movies, both of them. Beautiful. Yeah, I love them both. And I have them both, and I've been wanting to watch them again. But when I watch movies, I want to try to watch things that Arwen wants to watch too. Not so sure she's into those kinds of stories, so that's the problem, you know. So I keep waiting. Am I gonna get a chance to watch it? Yes or no? You know. Yeah, very early pit, exactly. The one I was talking about though, Rick, where the first time I saw him, it predates that. Maybe by a year or two. Somebody please explain to me how he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in 12 Monkeys. I'm not even going to argue that. Whatever, that's an opinion. Some people love it. Some people don't. Some people think the acting's good. Some people think it's bad. What can I say? 7 Years in Tibet, I never saw, actually, Rick. Is it good? See, I keep telling you guys. Don't just say the name. Tell me if it's good. Tell us so we all know if maybe we should check it out, you know? Mission Impossible, Marcus thinks that they've outdone Bond movies.
No way.
Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, dissenting opinions here. Wow. I like that. Katie knew about Scientology. Oh, no, of course she knew. I know she knew. But I believe she didn't really know what she was really getting herself into, like what it was like to live day in and day out with somebody like that. That's what I don't think she realized, you know? So Minority Report is a cruise movie worth watching. Oh, wait, Minority Report. Is that the one in the law firm? No. That's the John Grisham. Which one was the John Grisham movie? The Client? I think The Client.
Didn't see that.
No?
I don't know if I saw Minority Report.
It was from the 90s.
Rick is saying it's based on a Philip K. Dick story. I don't remember.
Dick story? I don't know. Carl says that in order to get me to like Tom Cruise, that's Mission Impossible. Yeah. But believe me, that might not. Yeah, no, it's probably. Yeah. I guess that's probably impossible. But it's even more impossible for Harrison Ford, Carl. That's what you need to know. Yeah, interesting. Which one? Hold on.
Minority Report. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. So is it partial sci-fi?
I don't remember. I think I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, Rick knows what he's talking about. The Client. Oh, The Firm. So what the hell is The Client? Wasn't there something called The Client? Anyways, thanks, Karen.
Minority Report was directed by Steven Spielberg.
By the way, everybody, Karen of Karen's Pages YouTube channel does not have a new video this week. She's been very, very busy. But I'm hoping that she puts one out this coming week, and I'm sure she's hoping to do that too. For those of you who still haven't checked out Karen's channel, please go to Karen's Pages and look at the very, very funny and very, very well laid out, professionally made videos that she puts out. Really fun stuff, comic books and comic art. And also wanted to mention, just to specify this one particular thing for Karen, because I feel like it's kind of disappointing. I go to her channel, and she did this short. It was the first, second short, the first short, whatever. Well, she has two shorts, and she did this one short where she did a short, a 1 minute short for Mask. And I've said this before. Mask, you know, the mid-80s cartoon. And she set it to music. And she just did it beautifully. It's a minute long. Please check it out. It's probably the least viewed episode, but it looks like she hired somebody to do it professionally. It's so awesome. So anyways, go check that out. And subscribe if you haven't already, so you can get notified of this upcoming week's episode. All right, next. There we go. Yeah, the firm. Thank you, everybody. There we go. More firms. I remember liking that one. And I remember liking You Can Handle the Truth. Of course, I watched that because Jack Nicholson was in it. I love Jack Nicholson.
He's good.
And Rick said it was sci-fi. Okay, so sci-fi. Interesting. I wasn't aware. Interesting. Thanks, Rick. Minority Report was predicting future crimes. Ah, I see. Okay. Minority Report is about people that can see the future to prevent them from happening in the first place. So it's kind of like time machine type thing where go into the past and you can change the past, but if you change the past, right, it has a snowball effect and other bad things can happen. But this is kind of the opposite of that with, you know, going into the future and preventing it from ever happening in the first place. So interesting. Oh, The Client was that kid and Susan Sarandon movie. Okay, thanks, Dwayne Zapane. Appreciate it. Yes, The Client was another movie based on, okay, maybe that's why I was getting confused, whatever, but okay, thank you, Karen, thank you. Yeah, now you're all coming out with Clients, it's around another lawyer movie. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I remember liking that a lot. You're very welcome, Karen, thank you. So yeah, so very, very cool. Okay, moving on from Harrison Ford and Tom Cruise. Let's hit. How about we hit? Because I see some stuff on this genre that most of them I like. So how about we go comedy?
Okay. Yeah.
And I just want to mention that I don't know that I've ever even heard of Norbert. Is that? I'm. You know what I'm thinking of? I hear that name and it makes me think of like Eddie Murphy in a fat suit. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Well, he plays all these different characters in there, and then Tandy Newton is in there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. He's such a talented guy. He really is. I don't think he's ever really gotten the deserved. He's never really gotten the deserved appreciation. I don't think. You know, Eddie Murphy is one of these people that is naturally funny. Like if he's telling you something serious, you kind of have to smirk because he's just naturally funny guy. I just think, you know, but yeah, you didn't see that Norbert. That's fantastic movie. Fantastic.
Yeah, I like this one better. Okay. Well, Marcus, the worst comedies, you guys can start throwing them out. I mean, people are going to be throwing out a bunch of, hey, speaking of Eddie Murphy, that vampire movie he did, there's one of the worst comedies of all time.
See, I don't care for comedies because I think it's like a canned laugh. You know, like when someone comes up to you at a party and they're not funny, but they're going to tell you a joke. It's like, My eyes roll because
Yeah,
I'm thinking, just shut up and go away. I mean, a monkey can tell you a
but
joke.
yeah, but that's different, right? Somebody being funny or not in person has no relevance to whether a movie can be funny or not.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's certain people that are naturally funny. You know what I mean? Like um, Chris Farley. Chris Farley was inherently funny. I
Well,
mean,
John Candy
John
before him.
Candy was absolutely
John,
inherently funny. I
okay,
mean,
John Candy before him, and Chris Farley was the second coming
yes,
of
yes.
John Candy,
Do you remember Benny Hill?
of course.
Benny Hill was inherently funny. These guys can tell you the house is on fire, we have to leave, and you're smiling because there's something funny about what they're saying when they tell you that. These guys were inherently funny, and it was a sad day when Candy died, and even sadder when Farley died.
Very
You know,
sad.
and the thing is, if you've seen Tommy Boy, now there's a match made in heaven for comedy between David Spade and Chris Farley, and those two were very close off camera, and you got that when you saw Tommy Boy. You know, I mean, it was just everything about that movie was just funny.
Yes, I'm going to get that to a second. I just want to catch some old comments that are about to slip away.
Coming to America, yeah.
Rick's Trading Places, love it. And Karen's Coming to America, love it. And now Vampire in Brooklyn, thank you for giving us the name of that horrific so-called comedy.
Blues Brothers was good.
I want to hit this because I just want to say I can't stand the Blues Brother thing. That whole thing, and I mean the whole thing from the 1970s era, Saturday Night Live, that whole skit. I don't get it. To me, the stupidest, least funny shit I've ever seen in my life, probably. Like, horrendous. I don't see what people think is funny about those two idiots in their suits and doing stupid things and saying idiotic whatever. I'm getting pissed.
See, that's how I think about Marcus's next comment. I can't stand Mel Brooks.
Come on, Spaceballs, baby, Spaceballs.
I can watch anything he makes and I will be completely dead faced.
Come on, Spaceballs is better than Star Wars, for Christ's sake.
No. Mel Brooks is somebody trying to be funny, but they're not. That's exactly. He's the person at the party that's telling you jokes that the guy's not funny.
Spaceballs. Come on. Did you ever see Spaceballs?
Even Airplane. Nothing. I've not cracked a smile at anything Mel Brooks that I've ever seen.
Did you watch
Blazing Saddles? Yes, I've watched.
Okay, come on. Comb the desert. Come on, he gives the order. Comb the desert. The giant combs through he's combing the desert with the. Come on,
that's so corny. It's stupid. That's so corny.
No, it was hilarious. It was so stupid. It was hilarious.
It's so corny that it's not even corny funny. It's stupid.
Oh, come on. So disappointed in you, John. Oh my God. Okay, that's okay. It's okay to disagree.
At least we like John Candy, and at least we like Chris Farley.
Okay, so Dwayne's a pain, and he says anything, John Candy. Okay, so look, because you have it on your list. Okay, I wanted to tell you, I was so happy to see your list, right? Because here's your comedy. Norbert, didn't see it. And then you got three of my all-time favorites, right? You got Tommy Boy, which you mentioned. Awesome the best Chris Farley thing ever.
Definitely.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, otherwise known as PTA to some of us. All right. I just want to say, and because I want to know from everybody else in the room, anybody of you who have seen PTA, right? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Me personally, what keeps me from loving it, right? Like, I do really like it, but what keeps me from loving it is I love John Candy. But at the same time, I really never liked the Dean.
Steve Martin.
And
I'm the same way.
Really?
I find him. I find him almost not as bad as Mel Brooks, but I don't find him inherently funny. But a guy that's not funny trying to be funny. You know what I mean? So I never liked the wild and crazy guy stuff on Saturday Night Live. That always just pissed me off, just like the Blues Brothers to you. I never understood that.
Okay. Oh, good. You too. Okay, good.
Yeah. I don't care for Steve Martin. I don't think he's funny. I think but I think if they had somebody else, if they had somebody else that starred with him, that starred with Candy in that movie, that would have been better.
Okay. Well, now what I really want to mention, because where's the comedy? Oh, yeah. So Tommy Boy, that's my favorite Chris Farley thing. Okay, and we're talking about John Candy. My absolute all-time favorite John Candy, Uncle Buck. Love it. Oh my God. When I saw that, I was jumping for joy, John. Oh my God. I've watched it a billion times. I had to introduce Vivian to it 8 years ago. And then
I had a friend that looked just like him. I had a friend that I used to call Uncle Buck. Same, yeah.
Oh yeah. I introduced Arwen to it. And she loved it too. It was so funny. Oh my God, Uncle Buck. Oh my God. Yeah. I love John Candy. I mean, that's just
yeah. And yeah, I'm forgetting some movies. What else was John Candy in?
Uncle Buck. Yay.
Yay, Karen's on the same page as us.
On the same page. She should be. She's Karen's Pages.
And that's not her last name.
But that's right. And then hold on. Let me see what else we got, because a bunch of comments came in. Blazing Saddles.
No.
I don't even, I think I skipped that one, to be honest. Should I be ashamed of skipping that? Hold on. Blazing Saddles. Was that the one with Chevy Chase and John Candy? Is that the one? If it is, then I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen it. Blazing Saddles. I think what it was is that I was like, set in the West, the Old West, like a comedy in the Old West, and I was just like, no, I don't think that's gonna be good. It's gonna suck.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not helping you out on this, because I you know why. Next.
Housekeeping. You need clean towel? You want to fluff your pillow? Nice, Rick. Everyone knows the sheriff is near. There you go, Mike. Oh my God. You guys are too funny. I'm an honest to God. Look, now all the quotes are coming. From all the movies we're talking about. So Princess Bride is not a comedy. Why would you bring that one up, Marcus?
That was a good movie. Did you see that?
I did. I did, like when it first came out on VHS. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty good, but I haven't seen it since, so I don't know if I'd like it.
I haven't either. Yeah.
You didn't like it?
No, I did like it, but it's not something that motivates me to watch it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The pillow scene. That was awesome. PTA with the pillows. Sleeping in the same bed. That's so good.
You know what I think? You know what I think was really funny is, like, was it John? One of them was a shower curtain ring salesman. I mean, can you imagine that? And then they need money to get back, and so they set up a little kiosk underneath the stairs at the airport, and they sell the shower curtain rings as jewelry, and they raised enough money. You remember that?
Oh, God. Me and my memory.
I think John Candy was a shower curtain ring salesman. Like, can you imagine that as a career?
Okay.
And they needed money, and they didn't, so they were resourceful enough to use them as jewelry, and they were selling them as jewelry underneath the escalator at the airport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you're right. I don't like Steve Martin. I don't find him funny, but Candy carried it,
Yeah. That's for me anyways. Dwayne, man, look. It's not that I've never loved a scene that Steve Martin was in. Okay. I do really like the movie. It's funny. Sometimes he's in a funny scene. Yeah, fine. Yes. He's done some funny stuff. I'm just saying, in general, like when Steve Martin is the main, the lead actor in a movie, I avoid those typically. I've seen some, but I typically always avoided them. I'm not a fan. He's not my kind of comedian. That's all.
Did you see the movie? Did you see the movie where, what was the movie? It wasn't a comedy. He had a really long nose, and he was feeding a line.
Is that Cyrano de Bergerac? Or the story of Cyrano de Bergerac?
Yeah, the story of where he's feeding the
I don't know
lines.
what it
Like
was
he's
called, but I think it was about the story of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Roxanne. Roxanne. Yes, that was
Was that
good.
was that it? Am I confusing two movies again?
Yeah, no, it's called Roxanne. I think it was that story though you're talking about.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that was good. That was
okay.
good. But
Um,
I find it hard to watch. I just don't care for him. I don't think he's funny. But it wasn't
okay.
a comedy. It wasn't a comedy. It was like kind of like a comedic romance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you see L.A. Story? Because Derek loved it, and
No. What's it
I, I
about?
I haven't seen it. Don't well, look it up. L.A. Story. Yeah, check it out.
I've heard
Dirty
of it.
Rotten Scoundrels. Oh my God! I think I was working at the video store.
You worked at a video store?
I did.
Oh, now okay. I detected this can go off on another show's tangent. You worked at a video store. That must have been interesting. Well,
I
you
loved
should
it.
be the movie king, for God's sake. If you worked at a video store, you should be shaming me with your knowledge.
But it does like you watch what you watch. You like what you like. It doesn't mean I gotta memorize every scene and every line from every movie and blah 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 and whatever.
I can imagine asking you what's a good movie to see, and you purposely not telling me about Harrison Ford movies, about Steve Martin movies, about like all of the movies with Tom Cruise. Like you purposely don't help me find a good movie because you leave out those people. You'd be horrible if I was asking for advice at the video store.
I used to give pretty good advice, I think, anyways. Man, what can I tell you? But I guess to you, he's a jerk. Good one.
That was okay. That was a good movie.
Love that. That's a good one. And okay, one of my all-time favorites. Oh my God, this is so good. Oh. What is a plethora? Oh, that's just so good. Oh my God. And when he's got all the bandidos lined up, and he's going up to each one of them one at a time, right? Reminiscing about the good old times, and then he gets up to Chevy Chase, and you roll the wenches, roll the wenches,
That's somebody I don't think is funny. I can't stand Chevy Chase, and the guy is an ass in real life as well.
I actually was never a fan, actually, because when I first I was introduced to him through the Caddyshack movies.
Yeah.
Right, early 80s. And like I just thought like they were okay, but like I thought the movies were like the first one I thought was pretty good, but at the same time that I was thinking it was pretty good, I actually was like not liking Chevy Chase. It was weird.
I hate him. He rubs me the wrong way, unlike anybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, you hate him with a passion.
I hate him. Yeah. I actually caddied at a one of my first jobs was caddying at a country club that was in true stories were more bizarre than that Caddyshack movie. So but you know, Rodney Dangerfield, he was in a class all of his own. You know what I mean? That guy was fantastic. That's a person that was naturally funny, but they're telling you canned jokes, you know. Yeah. He's another person that was a great guy.
Home
Alone.
Marcus says Home Alone. I liked it when it came out. I rewatched it just to show it to Arwen a few years back. Like, yeah, it's fun. It's fun, but it's not something I'd ever probably watch again. Now that I watched it once and then again just to watch it with my daughter, that's enough. I don't think I'd need to watch that again.
It's not Blade Runner.
So, Dwayne, thank you very much for dropping a couple of examples for the Neon Dragon here. The Great Outdoors and Splash, John Candy movies.
I'll see them. I don't think I've seen.
Oh, The Great Outdoors, I remember loving. Splash, I saw when it came out, never again. So I remember it being like, it's okay. Yeah, it's cute, but never cared to watch it again. Gene Wilder and Cleavon Little. Oh, the Blazing Saddles thing. Oh, wait, that's the one. Is that the one that's by Mel Brooks? Yes, Brooks directed it. Yes. Okay, that's the one that's like, when you look at it now, it's really racist. There's like really racist shit against black people in that one, if I remember correctly. Tell me if that's the one. Tell me if that's if we're thinking about the same story. Like really, like I guess it was okay back in the day, but it was, and I don't even know if it was okay back in the day. But yeah, it's really racist now. So
who's that actor? Who's the actor that stars in a lot of those movies? I also find him very offensive.
Who?
The white-haired guy?
Steve Martin.
No, I can't. You know, anything with Mel Brooks is just, I can't stand it.
Okay, you're not a Mel Brooks guy. Okay. Carl says that LA Story. So we got a second guy saying LA Story was an incredible movie. So I got to write that down. And
I got to start writing these down. Yeah.
I got to spend a bunch of time to chop up the video after we finish this. So once I start going through it again, and I'll start taking notes of all these things everybody's talking about.
I don't even know how you're going to chop up this video. I mean, what are going to be the bookmarks?
I know. I have no idea. Maybe, I don't know, simplify it to, I don't know, we talk about comedies.
We're not even sticking to genres.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about war movies. Is that going to be of interest to anybody? Karen's probably not a war movie fan.
I don't think anybody's really into that. But we got 4 minutes. Shouldn't we just be wrapping it up? And I want to say, by the way, I want to say, it's like 3 minutes. 3 minutes to the 2 hour mark. Everybody, I don't think I mentioned at the top of the show that John wanted to see if we could just keep this as a 2 hour show. So I think
if people want to keep going, we can do that. Or we can make it like a Stephen King movie and run the whole thing at the end in 3 minutes.
I wanted to say, though, I wanted to thank everybody because those of you who were here last time, okay, during John's show and tell episode, where we turned it into a movie show. You might remember I mentioned towards the end of those last 70 minutes, you know, we had dropped down to like between 11 and 14 viewers. And of course, we was really late at night by that point on the East Coast, certainly. And I just wanted to say, to remind you all that we all still had a blast, even though it ended with between 11 and 14 fluctuating viewers. It was still great. And I want you all to know that even though we did start tonight with 20 in the low 20s, and it went as high as the high 20s. It's down now again to the core 11. And it fluctuates 11 to 13. So the core of you are still here. And I just wanted to say thank you all, because ultimately I just felt like, when we thought about doing this idea of doing a dedicated episode for this, I just felt like, okay, if our core friends show up, right, anywhere from 10 to 15, you guys are the core. If you guys did it, I would be more than thrilled to try this out. And you guys did it again. So thank you very much, Guy and Gal, of course. Okay, Christmas vacation. Yes. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. And Mickey loves stripes. Yes.
No, Jeff Wedding hits the nail on the head. This sounds like we have more topics for a part 2, and that's kind of what I wanted to end, where people want to come back for more.
Well, you know, John, I don't know. All right. Obviously, we thought this was going to be an experiment, no matter what. And like I said, I thought, as long as 10 to 15 people showed up, which is usually the core group that, you know, sticks around and the most loyal, I'm willing to do it more than once. You know what I mean? So now, everybody, now that we've done it as a dedicated episode, I would gather to say that if we did this again the next time, we probably wouldn't start with 20 something, because all those people that have dropped out probably dropped out because this is not for them, right? Because it's not like you can say they dropped out because, we're going so long. It's only been 2 hours now, right? So I imagine it's just not for them, and that's okay. But for everybody else who still sticks around, right? 11 to 15 of you who fluctuate here to the end, let us know in the chat, please, because I don't want to do stuff if nobody wants to really participate, right? So let us know, everybody, please. Would you come back again if we did the same kind of thing again? Feel free to leave comments also below the video to say what you liked and what you didn't like, or suggest what, how we should maybe structure things, or not, structure things, whatever. Like the more feedback that we get, the more helpful it is to make me decide whether we should do this kind of stuff again. So let me know either in the chat or in the comments below. So Rick is saying that, hold on. Marcus is saying, start selling art. Yeah, that'll bring back everybody. That's for sure. No doubt about that. I have no doubt. Hold on. Oh, I missed a bunch of stories. Oh, another fan of LA Story, Karen. Okay. So I'm going to have to check it out, because it's right. It's not ringing I know the name is very familiar, but I can't remember who the actors are, what the story's about.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
It's not even ringing a bell in terms of the genre. So, but I will have to check it out later on IMDb. And let me see, Harvey Korman, not me. I mean, I used to watch him on the Carol Burnett show as a kid, Marcus. I don't know if you used to watch that, but for me, that was like family viewing. So he was all right there, but didn't really care too much to watch the movies he was in. Let me see. Jeff Wedding, sounds like some topics for a part 2 episode. Would you come back for a part 2 episode, though? Because some people say, hey, that sounds like you should, and then they don't show up, right? Marathon John. That's your name. That's what he's calling you from now on. Marathon John.
I'll wear a terry cloth headband, sweatband.
Mike, Band of Brothers was fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, what a series. What a series. But you must watch the extras of the veteran speaking. Well, of course, that's also more touching, of course. But fantastic. Yes, thank you for that. Absolutely. Oh, we did that one. This chat goes to 11, apparently, is what he thinks. I don't think so. We're going to probably wrap it up now. I don't know what Baltimore means. Hodgepodge is great. I didn't see that one, Carl. Like Mark Thong's idea, let's look at movie poster art, then discuss the film. Yeah, the problem is that ends up being the same as what we were kind of starting this episode as. And I noticed, like I said, when John's talking and he's telling us what he likes about a film or whatever, like, I'm interested, but a lot of you are just talking about and throwing out names of other films. So you're clearly not that interested in hearing talk about a given film. And I can see how that can lose an audience, right? So that's the thing. If we do this idea, it's pretty similar. Yeah, it'd be cool to put, I'd like to show the movie poster art, right? That's fun. But then we fall into that same trap where, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to talk about that movie? What? You talk 3, 4, 5 minutes about what you liked about the movie, or, because you guys can't talk. We can't hear you. So it has to be us in the studio who does the verbal talking. But then it seems to me that you guys kind of tune out. So that's why I don't think that structure works. Now, I'll tell you what would work for me, certainly, and I think even you, John, would agree. The problem is, as I've tried to do this in other shows in the past, and nobody's receptive to it. And I wanted to do it tonight, but because in the past nobody was receptive to it, I just said I blew it off, and I didn't even suggest it. But what would be fun to me on a show about talking film is if more people would be willing to, like, okay, so let's say you guys, everybody's throwing out suggestions, right? And then let's say you and me, John, or whoever's in the studio with me, we're like, oh yeah, oh God, that was a great one. Okay, let's talk about that for a second, let's say, right? What I would really like is for somebody in the room to quickly click a link and jump into the studio with us to give their, tell us quickly, whether it's for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, whatever, and tell us what you like about the movie, or tell us why you're suggesting that movie, and then jump back out into the chat room. Definitely. To me, that would be really, really fun to see a bunch of our friends jumping in and out of the studio. I mean, that now you want to talk interactive? I mean, all my shows are interactive, as you guys know, but man, that would really take the interactivity to another level to be able to.
It's funny you mention this, because yesterday or earlier today, I was thinking the same thing, but I was thinking of a phone call. Like if we could, like imagine like you and I are disc jockeys and someone's calling in and we can put that call on. I don't know if you could do that, but either or I think would be fantastic to bring somebody from the live chat and bring them into the show where we can hear them or see and hear them either way.
But what's the difference between what I just said and what?
No. Well, I'm saying like if they were to call in and we put the call on, like sometimes it's like is the caller there and we can hear their voice, but we can't see them.
Oh,
I was thinking of something like that, or like you said, the link to.
Okay, but listen.
Either way.
Listen, that's very old school radio station style.
Yeah, I like that.
So, but this is the modern era. So, what would be one step, more modern than that would be jump into the chat. Now, I get that a lot of people are. I get that a lot of people are shy, right? But even for people
they can do either way. Either way, maybe they're maybe they're naked or in their pajamas. They don't want to go on camera.
Because you could still jump in with audio and just hide yourself. Don't open your camera and hide yourself, from video. Right. So I think it would be so fun and so awesome. And
I agree.
Because that would give me an opportunity to rip a new asshole to a bunch of these people, like live on camera. That would be awesome if they say things that I don't agree with, and especially related to Harrison Ford. But like, think about it. How that would be fun. Come on, that would be fun.
I agree. I think right? I was thinking the same thing. It's funny you say that. I was thinking the same thing. A way to bring them into the show in a live format as well. I definitely would be cool.
Jeff is saying part 2 with other genres. Of course, we wouldn't rehash the same genre without first touching upon the ones that we didn't touch, right? And more Ford and Martin. Nice. Okay, so Mickey had a good time. Thanks, Mickey. I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you, sir. Really good to see you. And he's into the movie art thing. Okay, like I'm willing to show movie art, movie posters or whatever. But like I said, thanks, Rick. Thanks. I can always count on you, though. I know that. So thank you. And thank you, Karen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Vivian. Even Vivian.
Vivian didn't go to bed yet.
She's not in bed. I'm shocked. She hasn't fallen asleep yet, so she can count on us for part 2. That's awesome.
That's good.
Dwayne's a pain would be in for more. Oh my God, look who's here. The guy who didn't want this to happen. He tuned in. Hello, everyone, on this art-filled evening. Wait, what art? What's up, Scott? Good to see you, man.
Hey, Scott.
I love you, no matter how much you didn't want to be here tonight. And we appreciate you. You're very, very funny, and I appreciate what you contribute. So I appreciate that. There we go. Karen even told me that she loves how funny you are. You are very funny. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
There you go.
That's a cool idea. If you could make it work. Well, look, Karen. Here's the thing. Honestly, like this is what I was mentioning earlier, is that in past art-related shows, like I did like a few episodes. I don't know, maybe at least 3, where I had no guest. Right? I had no guest, and I don't like that. I don't like that because the comments, right? What we say on camera takes at least 10 seconds for everybody in the chat to hear, right? There's a broadcast delay. Then it takes us like 10 seconds to get the comments showing up, even though for them it appears immediately, right? So that delay kinds of makes things difficult, especially when I'm alone in the studio. So, because I've got nobody to bounce things off of, I got to keep waiting, right? So that's why in the past, Karen, there were a few episodes where I couldn't find a guest in time, and I went on live myself. And I threw out the invitation to the chat to say, hey, if any of you would like to hang out on camera with me, let me know right now. I will send you a link, and you can jump in, and it would be fun. But nobody took me up on it, not one. And that happened at least, I would say, 3 times. So that's the sad part. The idea, I think, is really fun, but precedent tells me, at least on my channel, my viewers don't want to do that. So they want to see people.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the
I
phone
know a lot
call.
of
Maybe the phone call might be better. You know, then and it
No,
might
but like I said, John, the phone call, who cares? That's just about not showing your face. You can jump on into the studio without showing your face. So it doesn't have to be on a phone.
Well, I mean, they may have bandwidth issues, or you may have bandwidth issues processing it. I don't know, you know, but
no, trust me. A lot of people are just very shy. They don't feel comfortable on camera, and I get it. Some of them is just talking and visual. Some of them may just be, they don't want to visually be on camera, but maybe they don't mind talking, whatever the case. But people don't, at least on my channel, history has shown, I've tried it and nobody, not a single person wanted to try it out, you know? You were actually at a movie horror site.
Which one were you watching?
How ironic. What were you watching, man? Really not a protest. Nice. Okay. Or is it? Yeah, I think it is. I don't know, Vivian. I don't know. He might, if he doesn't have a movie to watch Sunday night next time we do it. There you go. Exactly. Yeah. See, I'm sure something will come up and he won't be able to make it. Exactly. Yep. Ruben asked me before, but I was too shy. See, there you go. Exactly. A lot of people admit it. Maybe both options. Again, it doesn't matter. People don't seem to want to do it. And why phone when you can? That's what I'm saying, Dwayne. If I send you a link to jump into the studio, it's the same as making a phone call. That's why I'm saying you don't need a phone call. And a phone call would probably sound worse. Jumping into the studio, you have the option. You jump in, right? And then when you jump in, nobody's going to see you on camera until I first bring you into the studio. I'm going to see you down at the bottom. Nobody else can see you but me, right? And then I'll see you there. And then I will, when I see you there, I would say, all right, so, you know, somebody, Dwayne Zapane he's coming, he's in backstage. I see him backstage, right? So Dwayne Zapane, if you don't want to be seen, go ahead and shut your camera or whatever, click the button.
Right.
The camera.
The camera, right. Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's it. And then once I see you do that, I would then bring you into the studio. Then it would just be a black square, but we would still hear you. So that's what I'm saying. There's no need for phoning. It works just doing it this way that we're doing it, but you just don't show yourself. That's all. And like I said, the volume, the audio would be better. So
or you can wear a mask or like a triangle head or something.
Huh?
You can wear a mask.
Or wear a mask. Or wear a mask, exactly.
So whoever said they had that full costume for Triangle Head from Silent Hill, you can wear something like that on the camera. We could have a Halloween party.
Look at Carl. Carl says, I'm not educated enough with what I like. Look, Carl, everybody makes fun of me because I can't remember all these details of these movies and whatnot. I survived. You would survive. You could do it. And by the way, Carl, you could do it for movies. You could do it for comic art. We could do show and tell with comic art, or we could do just a hangout and shoot the shit about whatever. You've seen enough of my stuff to know how it all goes, all the different types of shows I do. You know how it goes, that you could pick your preference of whatever show you'd like to do. You would be fine, Carl. Trust me, you would be awesome. But anyways, I can't force you. I don't want to force anybody. You're not my only friend who doesn't want to come on camera. And so I have to respect that. So, but if it helps any, Carl, Karen thinks that you would be great, Carl. So there you go. And can we use cat filters? You absolutely could. Like, as long as we can hear you. I mean, I'd rather see people. It's more fun that way. But if you want to use filters, do whatever you want. As long as we can hear you, it would be fine. You sound like Marty McFly and handling rejection. Whatever, man. Look, I can't force you. The offer is always out there, okay? And I do like to hear people's voices. I'd rather speak to people than see written messages and have to type and stuff. James Azrael owns the Pyramid Man costume. I think you talked about that before.
Yeah.
They rent it out. But anyways, okay. So yeah, so I didn't get enough feedback as to, I got maybe a handful of people who said they'd be back. Oh, look, it went from 11 to 13, John. So it went up a little bit.
Going, huh?
But no, we're good. I think we should cut it now.
Yeah, we're already
And
15 minutes over.
yeah, we'll leave it here. But again, before I go, everybody, before you take off too, let me do my requisite. Couple of promos I have. Nikki B, of course, Friday, every Friday, but check him out this Friday again, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Nikki B, this time, I hope you see this on Rewind, but I could not find your show somehow. Every week, so you know, because your website people do not put your shows into playlists, I always take 15 to 20 minutes just to find your actual upcoming episode. It's very frustrating. You got to tell your people on the website to put all these episodes into playlists as soon as you've scheduled them. Okay, so I don't have to spend 15 minutes looking for the video, and so I can put the link in the chat here. So I don't have that link for this upcoming Friday's episode. Sorry, but couldn't find it, man. So that's that. And everybody, please come back next week as we do another comic art show and tell with my buddy James Siegel, who was here earlier, and Rob Gomez, a.k.a. Wolvie Fan, who you all probably know from CAF. I think needless to say, you probably all know that he is heavily into My Little Pony art. Nah, just kidding. He does indeed love Wolverine art, so there you go. It should be a lot of fun. As has been happening lately a lot, this show has a time limit. I've been given a roughly 2-hour time limit. And so, of course, that because we have 2 guys showing art and it's a 2-hour time limit, and because of the nature of our shows, always it's a lot of talking that goes on. It's not that much art. It's going to be about 12 pieces total between them. But it should be fun. I can't wait to chat with those 2 guys. So really look forward to it. I want to say happy birthday again to Ruby Welch. Happy 17th, Ruby. Your very proud Papa loves you. I'm speaking for him, but I know it's true. And once again, tomorrow, both of these birthdays are tomorrow. To my lovely, beautiful, holy grail of a daughter, Arwen. Thank you so much. I love you so much, babe. And keep being you. And today, happy birthday to a very long-time good friend of mine, Jeff Singh. A lot of you guys know him, a long-time collector, a comic art collector as well. And my first guest from the Comic Art Hangout series. So episode 1, Jeff Singh, happy birthday to you, dude. And that's it. I'm going to go before we leave and say goodnight. I've seen there's about 15 comments that came in. And yes, everybody, please, I don't even think I said it one time. Hit the like button if you can. I would really appreciate it. Thank you, Carl. Really, really appreciate that. Let's see. Next show, invite 2 others on that really know a lot about movies. No, but like I said, you whatever, number 1 Marvel fan, whatever. Thanks, guys. It's really a fun time. Stay safe until we do it again. Appreciate you as always.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks very much, Dwayne. Thank you so much. Karen, great show. Thank you very much, Karen. As always,
Thank
really
you, Karen.
appreciate you. You StreamYard can have 6 people. Dude, what do you think I use? I use StreamYard. I can actually have 10 people on. It's not the point. It's, believe me, the availability, the ability, the technical ability is not the problem. It is the personal ability.
The people that don't want to come on, yeah.
Yes, it's people who do not.
Yeah.
They want to watch people go on, but they do not want to be on themselves. That's just how it is.
We'll put mannequins. We'll get 8 mannequins and we'll put them on.
Yeah. Who updates 2 weeks at a time? Not sure what you were saying here. Sorry, dude. It's 3 minutes ago. Thank you for the vote of confidence, Ruben and Karen. You're very welcome. You would be fine. And hey, Carl, if you ever want, by the way, Carl, I'd be happy that we hook up on this software, right? Just as it'll look like as if you were doing this live with me, but nobody would be watching. We do it privately, just so you get a feel for what it feels like to be in the studio. And we can discuss it. We can discuss ideas. I'd be happy to chat with you just for fun anyways. yeah, we can just shoot the shit. And then after that, if you still feel like it's not for you, you're too nervous or shy or whatever, I won't feel bad. I'll still have I'll be happy that we had a chance to speak. We've never spoken live on camera, so I would love to do that. So let me know by email if you ever want to do that. That'd be fine. Vivian says, thank you, Neon Dragon, and good night, everyone.
Thank you for staying up, Vivian.
Yeah, my wife thanks you, but not me. I love that. You gotta love that. And that she's laughing in the background. I just heard her laughing.
Thank you, Vivian.
Wolfie has a lot of awesome pieces on the walls. Yeah, he has a great collection. Damn it, Marcus, I'm always missing you because it's too late. Who's the unicorn this time? Karen's the unicorn, but I don't know. I know you're not talking about her. Who else is the unicorn? Good night to Vivian from Karen. Great job, Neon and Ruben. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl.
Night, Karen. Happy to see you tonight as always. Not knowing what you're smiling. Oh, he's smiling because I said happy birthday again. I hope. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Rick, as always.
Thank you,
really
Rick.
appreciate you. And of course, lovely good nights from Karen to you as well. And I'm glad you liked it, Carl. Like I said, the core group, it's about a dozen strong. So I really appreciate all of you guys and gals the most because you're so loyal and you show up all the time. And no matter what I try, whether we fail or not, you guys keep showing up. So I really appreciate it.
We could have all 12 people on at once, couldn't we, Ruben?
Huh?
We could have all 12 of us on at once.
We could. Well, not 12 because including me, the host, it's I can do 9 more. It's 10 total.
Okay.
Yeah, but still a lot, right? It's still a lot.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, exactly. Of course, it'd be awesome. But again, it ain't never gonna happen. Think about how much trouble I have just putting on that other series that I've done. That it's been ages since I've done an episode of. I've only done 5 episodes of Comic Art Roundtable, where I only get 3 guests. 3 guests. And that's why I've only done 5, because it's hard enough just to get 3 guests to want to pop in and hang out. But the difference with that is it's 3 guests who want to do it and stay for the duration of the entire show, right? What we're talking about with this whole movie idea, it literally would be not, you don't need to hang out with us for the entire show. It's just when you participate and you throw out an idea of a movie that you really like or whatever, and we show the art, let's say, then it's like, oh yeah, you want to say something about it? Here's the link. Pop in, jump in for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, whatever, and then we kick you right back out. And then let different people go in and out constantly. That's it. That would be awesome.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody would have to feel this need. I have to. Oh my God, I'm going to be nervous. I need to be there for 2 hours with you guys. I don't know what to say, or that's what I'm saying. In and out, in and out, in and out.
Right.
So that's the fact, Jack. Awesome. You guys can talk for 9.5 hours. Yeah, I know people who have talked with me for 9.5 hours, Karen, and I happen to also know people who would love to talk with me for 9.5 hours. So there. And you're very welcome, Carl. And here he goes with another unicorn thing. This time MLP unicorn. I don't know what you're saying. Bronies. I know what bronies are, but what? I don't know, man. You've lost me big time. I heard Carl. Vivian. Carl actually heard you when you started laughing all the way from Hawaii. He heard you. All right, Carl. Good night, everybody. Thanks again. Really appreciate you for everything. John, as always, really appreciate you. I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I had a great time. Thank you for everybody.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me, Ruben.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Hang with me for a minute, will you?
All right. Yep.
And good night to you, Karen. Thank you very much. And everybody, I'm going to leave you, of course, with the, again, thumbnail for next week's show. There we go, Marcus. Core 12, baby. The Core 12. That's right. It's 12 right now. So exactly. Thanks so much. Marcus, by the way, can we count on you to once again be here at 5 o'clock sharp next week, given that you will be ending San Diego Comic-Con at that exact minute. Will you be here again, or are you going to break your streak, you think? Somehow my money is on you not breaking the streak. I think you have the same issues with obsessive compulsiveness as I do, and do not want to break the streak. Sure you will. All right. I appreciate it, buddy. Oh, you close up early Sunday. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, great, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. As always, I look forward to seeing you again here next week with James and Rob. And I will, leave you all with this. Thank you again very, very much. And I will see you all next week. Peace.